Fuck this show! Fuck this show! My feelings about this show, though that will likely be reiterated as we continue on with this piece of crap TV show. But anyway, before we bring in the guests, let's start off with aspiring.
Why? What is this? Who did this? Why did they do it? Who greenlit this? Why? What kind of monster would do this? Who thought this was a good idea? Why? Why?
Coming to you on your screens, it is the purified fantasies of the worst people imaginable.
Indeed. And let's bring in Trip, who's probably going to be saying this a lot.
It's so dumb.
It's so dumb, it's brilliant.
No! It's just dumb.
Well, if I could ever hear those clips when you play them, then perhaps I would know what you were referring to.
Its basic idea is it's just dumb.
Yeah, pretty well. Yeah, definitely for the first 3 episodes.
It's so dumb. It's like so dumb it's brilliant. No! It's just dumb. Well, all right. So let's and I dropped the link for the studio, the movie studio link in the private chat. I also put it into the comments.
Aren't you on like episode? This is not the beginning of episode 1, is it?
Well,
We've seen one.
No.
We've seen one. This
Okay.
we need to.
I don't care.
But-
We watched episode 1 a little bit ago.
Can I just say, most of the actors and actresses you never recognize in this show. If it feels a little extra painful to recognize this one and know she's not a bad actress, but somehow ended up here. In season 3 as well, as if she didn't have 2 other seasons to give her a red flag.
Yeah.
Why are you here? What? Who told you to come here? What? Who's the idiot who decided, hey, this will definitely look good on your resume?
Yeah. 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 Unfortunately, yes. Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, wow, this is gonna be so freaking awful. This, like, I've seen this and I was so pissed. I was like legit angry.
Right, we need to reiterate this to our audience. I am the only one here who has not seen this episode. These two have. So, this is basically 2 people watching someone get raped. Congrats.
Oh,
I don't know. Have you watched 4, Kai?
I have not watched 4 yet. I'm kind of saving myself to saving myself for that one.
Yeah, see, the saving yourself means my analogy to the thing is correct. Then again, you can't really. Let's end this analogy. So Codex. Okay, never. I was gonna give him shit, but you know what? It's fine. Hello, Staple. Welcome to my art. Is it my pain or our pain? I guess it'll be our pain.
What is the woman in white wearing? Oh, so that's supposed to be Margay's Strachan.
Oh, and that ain't nothing compared to a lot of her outfits.
Yeah.
Codex.
This is downright fine.
Oh. It's interesting how they changed it to from a male lion to female lion.
It's like
I do think that this might be one of the most impressive scenes of bad writing that I've seen in a movie in a long, long time.
So we still don't seem to know if they're treating Galad and Gawain, because I refuse to pronounce that Gowan. If they're actually treating them as brothers or not.
From my understanding, they're brothers, that just full brothers.
it might be better if they don't treat them like brothers, at least for this show.
Wow.
Jeez. It's like
Question. Is Morghese now a dark friend?
She is at the very least psychotic.
Well, I don't know. They've made
Actually-
Moraine a dark friend, so why not Morghese?
I need to see more to confirm this.
Oh,
Right
you
now,
will
she just-
shortly.
Oh my god. With the most I hate you expression. I'm surprised they don't actually mention their house in that. You have to be kidding me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they even kill a kid.
Please, just why? Why? Just why did you make this change? What was the point of this change? Why do you actively want to make your female characters awful, horrendous people? This is not clever.
So fundamentally, they have ruined Margay's Strachan. They have ruined Margay's Strachan irrevocably.
It's like her thing of giving peace to the other houses who fought against her was not a bad decision. Even if it did end up making things maybe harder, it's still the reasonable thing to do. Because it creates peace during your reign, and assuming things go smoothly in your next reign as well. The problem is things didn't go smoothly. That's the only reason it became difficult.
Yeah.
Well, let's face it, if it weren't for the fact that Forsaken had claimed the fucking Andor, the secession would have been fine. Why would she know? He hasn't been in contact, Varen.
And
You guys never said she sent a letter to her mother, if you can recall. Why? Oh, God.
oh, look.
Staple, remember the white comment?
Yep.
She is now the Red Queen.
And This guy is 5 minutes. This guy, he breaks the show. Unironically,
What do you mean?
he breaks the show. You'll find out at the beginning of episode 4, episode 2. Episode 3. I mean, but he breaks the show.
Is he a chosen?
Well, look at who he is. He's Lord Gabriel.
Oh, yes. So basically, timeline-wise, they're saying he's been around, but he hasn't been that thing.
Yeah. And the way that they magically fix that is so dumb. I watch.
They try and fix it.
Yeah.
You knew the error existed, so you tried to fix it, even when you could have just not done the error. Congratulations, show.
It's not like we haven't talked about that enough on Red Hand.
Oh
Yes, but I've admittedly been ignoring some of that.
Oh, so he implants memories via compulsion of 10 years.
Only he does it, like basically worldwide, because everybody.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, because if you notice, they even kind of foreshadow it a little bit by Liana doesn't recognize him at first, and then abruptly she has her memory implant. Then it seems like she abruptly has it put in her head.
There's something kind of there, not in the implanting memories, but the compulsion could probably make people act that way. But no.
That's why I
Really?
said
Multiple, like a tower full of Aes Sedai?
No, I don't believe that. But I mean, the people he comes in contact with, he could. Having it be a worldwide phenomenon thing or whatever is stupid. It's close, but then they fuck it up.
Well, and the thing is, he also puts it into Elaine's head that they've been friends for 10 years.
Wait a second. Are you trying to say she was Aes Sedai? No, she's not Aes Sedai. She left the tower. She never became Aes Sedai.
She still gets she gets an honorary Great Serpent.
I think her ring is empty like Annalise's.
Yeah.
Which I guess is in the show context fine for having it accepted, but still.
Well, it's still in books too, so that's one of the least continuity breaking things in the show.
I do somewhat have to give them a few props for how they represent appropriately how freaking catty and small and backstabbing the Aes Sedai can actually be with their little power plays. Like making her wait longer, to come in and then doing their little back and forth scene there or whatever. That actually is rather book accurate.
Kind of. I just don't think they would do that with Morgas, who they have good relations with. They would do that to another.
Well, yeah, I mean, there is that, but that corrects itself here in a little bit, in a way. It's more public facing, but I mean, come on. Yeah, I think they would.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on the scenario.
Yes.
I hate Avienda in this show. We're about to hate her even more in episode 4 based on a preview scene.
Now, see, I actually started out liking the scene.
Well, it looks like they're fixing it.
What do you mean fixing?
Well, basically, originally you could only use the ways by channeling.
But then, of course, they made the door actually, they changed the mechanics some. But still, I actually kind of liked that visual.
The visual was nice. It was very what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I think.
But I'm also like, where the fuck is Mock and Shin? Excuse
Yeah.
me? I still am very much like, where the fuck is Mockin' Shin? But okay.
I mean, it's the biggest threat of the ways.
And then didn't he just say only dark friends? Granted, I have not rewatched this. So didn't he say something about only dark friends can safely travel the ways? Well, you just safely
No.
traveled them. What the fuck
Without
are
an
you
ogier.
talking about, dude?
Without an ogier was the caveat.
Well, no. Even in the books, it's like very clear. Even Dark Shadow Spawn can't travel it safely.
No, that was they're making their little, but even that, he was with them on their trip to
World.
Faldara. So why weren't they able to travel it safely then? Just like they
Well,
couldn't
that's
take horses, but then they
No.
could take horses. But now it's
No,
safe to
Trip.
travel with an ogier, but before it
Trip.
wasn't.
You're forgetting. Moraine is a dark friend. That's how they travel it safely.
But they didn't.
That's true.
That's
I don't
kind
know.
of my point. Is again, no consistency.
Never is.
No, here we go.
And for a little bit, like there's that little hint of a pause whenever he meets somebody. But
why did you put attention to detail on something that breaks your shit? Why?
So, what is his actual power? Like, he's got to implant the memories when he, in the first half a second, when he meets somebody, and then they just hold?
apparently, yes. Apparently, yes. That is the best explanation I can come up with.
That would actually be quite the useful little talent.
Yeah.
So why hasn't he used it on all of his fellow Forsaken to make himself nameless?
Good
He
question.
can use it on Aes Sedai. Why not his fellow Forsaken?
I don't know.
Well, don't you know that all the Forsaken are super chummy?
Stop applying logic to this stupid show. Random, incoherent, juvenile crap happens. Things don't make sense, and for some reason, there's a bunch of mentally ill people who like this.
You know, actually, Gawain would be a better Matt. I'm just talking about the character, not even necessarily the actor. But the way they have written Gawain,
They made him more like Matt. Interesting.
very much. Oh, for fuck's sake. Fuck
And
off.
now they're doing the healing. Really? Really? Really?
Well, they're not even doing the healing for the reasons you think.
It's for the memories?
Yup.
Mhm.
Fuck you! Fuck you! Why? Why would you want to? Genuinely.
Well, no, it's just he doesn't remember stuff.
Right. And now memories are a thing the one power can just fuck with. Great.
Because the memories are a bad thing.
Right. Because they help him with war. War is bad.
I don't even know if they think that. They just think that he's
No, Matt thinks that.
yeah.
Yes. In the books, they he was freaked out kind of by having them, but it was more he was freaked out by the holes left, right?
Mhm.
And then they got filled after his, little meeting with alien creatures. And yeah, anyways.
It's like it's understandable for Matt to feel bad about the memories and the consequences and the loss of them. Just yeah.
No, even with the the few parts in these first 3 episodes and then the parts in episode 4 that are a lot more book accurate, the context is not. They still are warping the context and trying to make it fit with everything they messed up in the first 2 seasons.
Well, I feel like that's been the running trend for the whole show.
Wait. I didn't know. She said, "Oh gosh." Is that? I don't know if it's hilarious. Did she actually?
They can't have her say mother's milk in a cup yet.
But it's just gosh is.
I'd like to believe that was just her first thing, and they decided, no, let's not correct it.
And Codex, we have no clue where the Ashen Dagger is.
Nope, we have no idea.
I don't know. There's quite a few of us that believe Vane is just gonna show up with it. I kind of personally think and hope, because it would be hilarious, that they just forgot and left it on top of the tower after Matt threw it into Rand, that they kind of forgot, and along came Lanfear or Vane or somebody and picked it up, and now they have it. Because the only thing they've shown, a spoiler for episode 4, but the only thing they've shown is during Moraine's vision quest. And we've all seen the stills of it, I think, when, they're all, the entire company are, now dark friends, right? And they've got the fucking stupid goth outfits on. Matt actually has the dagger in that vision, but it's a vision only.
Yeah.
We have no clue where the dagger is, what they did with it. I mean, they let him keep the horn, so why not the dagger? Just poof. We also don't know where Uno's shield went either, that he gave Perrin, that, is better than Captain America's shield.
It's equipable and unequipable.
I guess so. Oh, God. Why am I watching this again?
This is not sword fighting. This is not sword training, you numpties. You are not going to actually use any of those moves ever.
Yes, let's make a growly face and slash at the air.
It's almost like they just don't know how to do that, or they just don't want to put time into actually choreographing a fight.
Oh, fuck you, Moraine. Fuck you.
Yeah, because that's that is you.
Are they
that.
from him? Fuck you, bitch.
Yeah, because you're the Machiavellian schemer weirdo who did it. You're responsible.
No, Kai. The part that I find hilarious, her bruises are from Lanfear fucking with her in TAR.
Oh, yeah.
Oh! You have to be fucking kidding me.
But Moraine is blaming Rand for being abusive, a physically abusive boyfriend.
Boy toy, man.
Yeah. Also, this mentality for why a spear is not used by the Aiel does not come up. So this is stupid. They don't think that way. They just think that they just have
No, it comes
irrational
up
hatred
in
of the sword.
4, Kai.
Well, I mean, like, when was the last time anyone caught their supper with a sword? They don't.
Okay, they're referencing the fact that
Oh, they're
the
referencing it.
Genial, when the break happened, the fact that they chose
Spear because it has
those that
teeth.
broke off, they chose a spear because it had uses other than being a weapon, whereas a sword does not.
Oh, I know what it's referencing. I just don't think that an actual live Aiel currently would ever think of it that way.
Which also, I do. One, Dunn does have a point there. Two, I find it somewhat funny that in the books, it normally spears are seen as the thing that's just a weapon versus the sword, because sword's like self-defense, spears only offense. So it's funny how they kind of twist that on its head in the books.
No, I think it's book accurate that a spear is a tool, a sword is a weapon.
We're not saying it's not book accurate. His point is he doesn't think any of them would know that context present day.
The only one, at least the only ones that would know, are people who have gone through.
Well, the line would have come much better after Rand's Vision Quest.
Or even just during the Vision Quest, because it only shows up during the Vision Quest. Every other time that's the only time that they reference the justification for why they use spears. Every other time that's just the way it is for them. They don't care.
Okay, I'm channeling Amber and saying that in the show, for people who have not read the books, it would have made a lot more sense for that to come after. Because who's really going to remember that 2 episodes later? One throwaway line.
Yeah, the placement of it is really dumb. I think maybe just leave it as it was, where it was just a justification.
And we have more fast traveling.
Yeah.
Always.
Where the Waygate was above Manethrin, and now poof, they're like suddenly in 2 Rivers.
And they're fully obvious to everybody, and they look freaking weird. I do have to say, Marcus Rutherford's a tall guy. Either that, or they have positioned Ragnar Ragnar's really far back, because she is really tall.
They have no real sense of filming perspective, it seems.
Nope, which is so
because
disappointing.
Loyal should be taller than Perrin's afro, quite honestly.
They make them all almost the same height.
Yeah, and which is actually kind of impressive, because the girl playing Bane is 6'2". She's really tall. And Marcus Rutherford is the same height, but I think they've made him a lot. It looks like he's a lot taller, and yet they can't do that for Loyal, where Loyal is and what is funny though is that they have recast Mistress Alvier for some reason. Like, since that's not the same actress.
I'm just gonna guess the old one abandoned ship.
Well, first, to address Neil, to be fair, season 3 is bringing in a lot more book elements. But like I was saying earlier, a lot of them are very out of context, out of place, still kind of being mishandled. And after really thinking about it, after watching episode 4, which is a lot closer to being book accurate, it's actually makes it worse overall, because you watch some of this and you go, okay, so what you're showing us, it's like you're sneering at the fans. You're going, see, look, we can do we can do book accuracy, right? Not 1-to-1, which nobody ever really wanted. Okay, we knew it couldn't be done. But showing respect for the source material, but we just decided, fuck you, no, we want to do our own fan fiction. So in a lot of ways, even though it's more accurate to the actual source, it makes it worse because it really is like
context has
a
been
slap
destroyed.
in the face. It's like
The
we could
context
do
has been-
it, we just choose not to.
Yeah,
Uh,
which we always knew. This is
yeah.
just more confirmation.
So to answer your question, what they have decided to do is Frankenstein monster large chunks of book 4 into season 3.
So, Neil, my answer to that, and I am trying to be fair here, my answer to that is honestly because the showrunner, Mr. Judd Giddens, really has an arrogance problem. I mean, he really does. He
kinda does
truly,
come
I
off as a
believe this, I
narcissist.
believe he's number one incompetent,
Yeah.
and I do think it's somewhat malicious. But he really feels that his vision for this story is better than Robert Jordan's. I really think that's a lot of it. And he has made many, many comments along the way to that effect. I mean, even when we get to the point in episode 3 where we get the, Matt versus Galad and Gwen fight, he couldn't even keep that accurate per se, the context and the reason for it happening. And he has specifically said that that would be one of his favorite scenes to bring to screen in a more believable way. So he doesn't believe in the source material. He believes in his own vision. That would be my fair answer to that question.
Yeah.
You don't want my emotional answer to that question.
He's kind of a narcissist.
I mean, I do.
He kind of comes off as he is a bubbly narcissist, because that's how I would describe him.
He's someone who wasn't beaten enough as a child.
What the fuck? Come on, Matt, blow the horn. You can have all sorts of fucking friends in your room.
What? Put what away?
That's the actual horn.
God fucking damn it! Why did you? Why is this? Okay. All right. Let's focus on this. Why? Okay. Again, warping of context. Rather than these two being trained by warders.
Oh, just keep
Possible-
watching. This is not what you think it is, Shy.
It's not.
Although it would have been a much better placement for it.
What?
That's not how it works. Wow. So Nynaeva's thirsty. Wow. That is a level of acrobatic feat that I don't know is possible for Gowan. Yeah. And Daniel Green actually got the closest to Matt I've ever seen him at the apparent cock tease of this show. Okay, why is Min here? No idea. I legit have
What?
no idea.
Your family is Andorran, not fucking Karheen. Karhine. Fuck you.
Kyrianen.
I take it from that, Neil, that you have not read the books then.
Not very much, I don't think.
Why? Just okay.
It is a commitment, but they are worth it.
I like how they just. I thought it was the obvious scene that we were expecting, and they have Matt seem to be like considering it, and then him just being like, "Yeah, nope."
Yeah, no, Matt just wanders off. That's why I said that is not the scene you were thinking it is.
I was just.
And why are they okay? So I get so frustrated because all this shit that they're talking about, right? That should be secret. Like, sure, they're in Swan's study, right? The fucking door is open. They did not close the door behind them. All of this stuff that supposedly other people don't know or whatever, in all of these scenes, they're just fucking talking about them in public. Why did they bother with the game of houses or anything? Because they all just word vomited in public where anyone can listen.
No, she's. Fuck you.
That is actually out of the book. So
She is not the strongest of. But she might be strongest of her group. She's not strongest of the Black Aja, which granted she doesn't know, so fine.
Well, as if you cared, Swan. You just ran out of the room and nobody fucking checked on Nynaeve until Lan showed up. Fuck you.
I hate this show.
See, and here we have, they're wandering through the hallways talking about the fucking Black Aja.
You know, just a stupid bullshit thing they could do to fix these problems is just have them have the eavesdropping weave, make it mobile, and then you could just have these stupid scenes.
See, but the funny thing is, this is almost book accurate, right? Them being sent to find out what the fuck the Black Aja is doing.
Yeah.
Context has
And
been
if
destroyed.
it truly exists and yada, 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 and all of that. Almost. It's almost there. But no.
They've totally destroyed the context around it. I love how they're just ripping off Game of Thrones now.
I'm not surprised by this.
They just keep on doing this.
They don't have any original ideas of their own. They can only ruin others.
And Neil, Eye of the World is very it's really good, and it's a great introduction to the series, but it's also very Lord of the Rings-ish, Tolkien-ish, for a purpose and intentionally, because that is what publishers wanted then. But Jordan then really stretches his legs and takes the story in like kind of a different, his own direction. It's kind of like he finds his own voice after that. And I
Which is
would
common.
say the first 5 books, so then 2 through 5, are probably some of the best of the series. There's a couple of them later on, but the guys might disagree with me, but I think a lot of people kind of agree.
Very what?
Oh, you know what? Bane and Shiad need to just fuck off in this show.
I think part of that, it's weird because that is a line from the book, but it's just like the actresses are not very good. Or at the very least, they're not giving good direction because
Yes, Alana, what the fuck are you doing in the Two Rivers? An answer we've yet to get.
they had an answer. It made sense. They're going to go recruiting on a recruitment drive.
Made sense when you remember there was a reason to try recruiting here. But of course, that reason doesn't exist because of how they've made this culturally diverse backwater.
Yeah. Or it was supposed to be because it was an isolated gene pool. More channelers came up because channeling is fundamentally genetically related.
Like, there's a little bit
I
of
still
science
enjoy
in that magic.
this.
Oh, yay. Yeah. Granted, I don't hate the Egwene enough to take true pleasure out of this as it would be if it was, Book Egwene. But I'll take it.
And
Why?
Rand is dipping Lanfear in his dreams.
Really?
Yep.
Why?
Well, I don't know, given the show, wouldn't you?
I guess.
And he's still having sex with Egwene on the side.
Look, polyamory is the norm.
Hey, I do land fear. And with that comment, I'm going to go fold laundry. I'll be back.
We.
So apparently she can do this at the same time.
Remember, there are two wolves within a person. One is horny, and the other is sadist.
Evidently, yes. So the funniest thing is that's actually Jaime Lannister's IRL wife. She's a parent. I think she's playing Bear, or at least since I think that they have mixed Amis and Bear into one character. I think. So, what do you mean he didn't? Show, can you please, Jack? Just very of control. Yeah, kinda. Apparently, I don't know. Yep, she's bear. Yeah, they have mixed bear and Amis into one person. Yep. Apparently, Galad is having sex.
Yeah, I heard of this.
Yeah, it's just like I don't really buy that. I'm like, that's just weird. It's an odd choice.
I don't know why they make these decisions. I want to be a fly in the wall to their brain.
Because that's just kind of lame. Because Galad is just kind of he is a massive prude. So it's just, she sold about to the Forsaken. There is nothing she can do to redeem herself at this point. She has fundamentally lost all.
Especially in show lore, there's no ink tar to prove otherwise.
Yep. Why are so many? Yes, the equivalent of 40 teenagers. Yeah, good question. I don't know. That is such a terrible looking crown to be.
I was about to say, I don't like how the Rose Crown's designed here.
Yeah, it's weird. Aren't they behaving like many year friends? So, how does that not create massive contradictions within two people? Because they'll be like, "Oh, I remember this happened." Wait, I don't remember that. Because he's fabricating 10 years of memories.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, it very much wants to be. And the thing is, it's not even horny enough to be Game of Thrones. They're kind of
Okay, there's been more sex happening here than Game of Thrones in all 8 seasons.
No, I don't know what you're thinking. There was a lot of sex in Game of Thrones, and it was on
Yes, and it's
screen.
still less. Yes, and it's
Really?
still less. Yes!
It created sex position scenes specifically for the intent of making people not fall asleep during exposition.
What do you mean sex position?
Well, basically, Littlefinger is going over his plans to pair prostitutes as they're going at it. Exposition while sex is happening.
I don't recall any of this.
You don't? It's in season 1.
No, I don't remember any of this.
Yeah,
I know there's scenes.
there's a lot of sex in Game of Thrones.
There's some, but there's still, I think, does more.
There's at least more on-screen sex in Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Game of Thrones might do an after sex scene. That's
no,
different.
they do a lot of actual sex.
I think I can only remember like 3 or 4 times.
They're at least nude. There's at least like a lot of nudity.
Nudity is not sex.
Yeah, fair. But there's at least I know what they don't show Podrick. They do show
They can't show Podrick. It's too incredible to be shown.
Clearly. They wouldn't take it, my lord. Of course they liked it. They're paid to seem to like it. Only they weren't paid. What are you saying? These ladies enjoyed it so much that they gave him the time for free.
I've heard the theory. The reason for that is literally just because he knows how to lick a pussy.
The other theory was he just sang to them.
I've also heard that. I think that's something from the books, maybe.
No, that's just a show theory because the guy what's his bucket? Because the guy can actually sing it because he sang Jenny of Old Stones. That's the theory. It's not really something out of the book, since in the books he's like 10 or 11.
Ripe age for that, ain't it? Fuck's sake.
Why?
I hate how they needed to have this explained as if this wouldn't be common sense to anyone. Especially glory-avoiding Matt. Fuck you, show.
Yep. No. Why are they doing this?
Fuck you. 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 Fuck you.
This bit is hilarious because this Matt is not like this Matt is kind of the opposite of the character in a book.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's not. No, he's not. He abandons his friends whenever. Yeah, I believe that of this Matt completely. He's not a hero.
But isn't it? It's a quote from the book. See, we're being faithful to the books. See, we said the thing.
I hate this show.
Hmm.
I'm okay with Sophie Okonedo. Yeah, the business suit is really freaking weird. We're just on episode 2. Oh, I hate the show.
Isn't she like sweltering in 12 layers of clothing?
I imagine that this poor woman is probably sweating to death. Either that or they are having it be really, really heavily air conditioned in that place. Actually, no, they wouldn't, because that would create air trails. So she's probably dying. You're right.
Christ.
She's probably sweating to death. Unless it's in a cold studio. That is a non sequitur, you idiots. I didn't know that.
So, refresh my memory here. How exactly do they know the last battle is coming? Have we
Rand.
seen anywhere in the show where someone has said this to Elaine?
Just because the Dragon is reborn, that's pretty much the extent of it.
Which he has been, seen and all that from Falme.
But how has he demonstrated this? He did not declare himself the dragon. He did not defeat Ishii. Ishii committed suicide upon Rand's blade. I mean, this is a serious question. I'm not even being sarcastic.
The show is basically saying
I'm going, how has, other than like Moraine or, whomever saying that he's the Dragon Reborn and that the last battle is coming and blah, 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 how is the show presented that any of this is really even happening? We don't really see any evil events taking place in the world. Sure, the Shan-Chan invaded, but that has nothing to do with the last battle. The White Cloaks came and attacked the Shan-Chan, but that has nothing to do really with the last battle. I'm going, in the books,
Gaslighting
we're
us.
pretty much told this, and it's demonstrated over and over and over again in a variety of ways. And yet in the show, why am I to believe there are any real stakes here?
Because they told you. That's all you need to do, right? Saying is believing.
They haven't even really told us. Moraine has said it, but then we got a used car salesman that did something to her that even she and the show couldn't figure out what he did to her, and what evil did he actually do at Falme?
Nothing.
We
The
didn't
only thing
have
that showed is
creepiness
that-
from Fane, right? We did see Trollocs attack, but the Wonder Girls destroyed 10,000 of them without any training. So, I mean, I do think about this periodically of, if I didn't know the books, what would be telling me that there's some serious world, affecting thing, major battle between good and evil here? I mean, sure, we've got Leandrin and her quote-unquote dark friends in Black Aja, but we had the Dark Friends Social, but that was a daycare and a Trolloc petting zoo.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do. I'm thinking from if I I binge occasionally Wayward Pines again off and on, because even though that kind of went off the rails there at the end and it didn't continue, still, you immediately had a sense that, okay, there's something up here and it's creepy and it's paranormal and what the fuck? And then when you figure out what's going on, then it's really like, oh shit. And that's in kind of I don't know if it was the CW that did Wayward Pines or if it was Fox or whatever, but yeah, no. At least Game of Thrones opened up with the White Walkers.
Mm-hmm.
So right off the bat, you're like, okay.
Yeah.
They tested against Arthur Hawkwing and won. You are pissant by comparison.
The show has not done a good job in making Tar Valon the impenetrable fortress that it was for a very long time.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, basically, we just saw Leandrin and her, crew of 7 or whatever it was, basically take on, take on all the
White
Aes
Tower.
Sedai in the tower and kick their asses, except They should not have let Alana go to Two Rivers because Alana can obviously take down fucking all of them all by herself, right? He was like, what the hell are they doing?
Yes, somebody can be an Aes Sedai and still be a queen. Yes, it's just been very rare that the talent appears in royal families.
Yeah, it's mentioned in the books even how the Aes Sedai want that. They want Aes Sedai queens. Because
wasn't what's her name? Aemon's wife?
Yep, but that's been several thousand years.
I know.
Look, there's an African
American, but
oh my gosh, that's hilarious! That there is an African American Aiel.
Oh, there's quite a few of them.
Which is kind of it's just like I'm like, that's just weird. Because it's like
they clearly see.
Oh my god, I so want to make some comments from episode 4. Damn it.
right?
Ooh.
So yeah, so many things have been ruined already. Mainly just the fact that freaking Morghese Tricand is an evil, psychotic murderer.
So many things just make me wonder on the writer's brain perspective on like, why and how did you do this? What was your process when you decided this is a good idea, that this needs to happen? Just why? Why do you think you're making her look like a cool character, or do you know you're making her a shit?
So, sorry, Shy, I want to answer Neil's question, because this is something those of us who were upset with the show right off the bat about that particular subject got called, bigots and racists and so on and so forth because of that. So the story itself, Wheel of Time,
very
and
diverse.
the setting that it's in is exceedingly diverse. It is simply that, a little bit of a spoiler here, by the way, but it is simply that basically it was a very diverse world, but with the breaking, people scattered, and in doing so, there were many areas of the world that became very isolated. And so in the world itself, like Two Rivers, where you start off, which you've seen in Eye of the World that you read, it's very, I can't remember the word that I want here, but it's not diverse because after hundreds, of years, I mean, they're insulated and they're inbred. It's not like they have a whole influx of a whole different bunch of people coming in, so on and so forth. So that's kind of why you get like certain areas of Randland are very
ethnically homogenous.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Like Golden Times.
Well, yeah, because Shi'enar is based off of a particular culture. You do have some areas like, say, Tarvalin. They're going to be much more cosmopolitan because that is much more kind of like LA. There's a shitload of trade that goes through there. It's a center of power. It's a giant city. But like the folks in Two River, the Aiel across the spine of the world, these places. Yeah, they're not really interbreeding per se. They're just not. And that was the way the world was, and it was set up kind of logically that way by the author.
And by real world.
Yeah, they've destroyed that.
Because if you look at Europe, even modern day Europe, with all of the travel ease of travel that modern era has, most of Europe is very ethnically homogenous. Same with China. China is massive. China and Japan are massively ethnically homogenous. It's only really America that does not have an ethnic homogeneity to it because of the fact that we get a lot of immigrants.
That's because one's a unique selling point of America is that they wanted everyone across the world there at once upon a time during the better days.
But one of the other reasons for it too, Neil, is that in Eye of the World, you know, one of the things that's happening kind of right off the bat is Rand has always been considered somewhat different because he looks differently. The Two
Like an
Rivers
Aiel.
is not diverse. So he stands out. And that's a part of, you know, that story. And it ties into him being born on Dragonmount, right? And that he's an Aiel. So he is going to look different. You know, he's got the red hair and the light coloring and the gray/blue eyes kind of thing. So, you know, I mean, it's very apparent. And please don't take this as a racist comment, but this would be like as if I moved to, say, Japan. Yeah, especially if I'm in a remote village of Japan, I am going to stand out. You know what I mean? I know I do not look Asian. I do not look Japanese. So, yeah, in that particular village, somebody comes looking for quote unquote like an outsider. Well, I'm going to kind of be one of the first people to, you know, stand out to them. And that was important to the story. So when they made the Two Rivers so diverse, like just a cosmopolitan little town or whatever, then all of a sudden, well, Rand doesn't stand out. And yeah, that kind of was the writer's purpose is they were like, yeah, but anybody can be the dragon and it could be female or male or, you know, the fact that Rand stands out, that doesn't have anything to do with the story now, does it? So yeah, we were not happy about that.
Nope.
It's like, hey, you could have made them all, you know, people of color. Okay. And yes, then Rand would have really stood out. Or you could have even made them all like she and Aaron, you know, make them all Asian. But for God's sake, it's an isolated part of the world that doesn't trust outsiders. They're certainly not going to be breeding with them.
Yeah.
And also prudish as fuck.
Oh, here we go.
Now we get an explanation for how he's after a month he's in.
Why is it always dark? Why?
Because I don't know how to do lighting.
Hopelessly in love for over a decade. Lovely. So he is functionally.
Okay, Neil, that's a new one that I've had. Yeah, I'd not heard that comparison, and that's a good comparison. I like that.
Yeah.
Although you never know, in Rings of Power, they could pop up with that.
Fuck you.
Well, and again, this is even some of the dialogue. This is kind of book accurate.
But the
You know,
context has been
the
destroyed.
Forsaken meeting and scheming, and you know, fucking with each other. And yet, well, I don't know if she's been resurrected by Saw. Maybe she's Nabos in the fucking show at this point.
Yeah.
Only Nameless can just revive herself at will.
I am so firmly Team Landveer in the show.
I know.
It's kind of funny that Mogideon kind of looks like Jim Carrey. This poor actress.
In a weird way, so far, Mogideon is probably closer to the book description than possibly any of them.
Yeah.
It would have been fantastic if they'd been able to bring on, oh crap, what is his name? Tyrion from Game of Thrones. He is a fantastic actor.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, and if they had brought him on a cameo, oh my god, that would have been fantastic.
That would have been freaking hilarious.
The height envy suddenly explained.
Why? What? This is God. These scenes are so terrible.
Painful.
Like,
Yes, I know.
like the dialogue is like. It's basically like a 3-year-old trying to deny that, they're the ones that broke the lamp or something. It's pretty much on that level.
I would have pronounced that as a Miko. Why are you telling them this?
Actually, I think this particular actress right here has better acting than a lot of the other cast does. I didn't think she did a bad job here at all.
No, she did fine. Like she's been stilled, so she's lost. So it's kind of like, okay, they've covered their base. It's weird that they've covered their bases with this, but everything else about the show is completely freaking incoherent.
Well, no, I mean, with what they gave her to work with, I think she's demonstrating.
She's not bad. No, I would agree.
And I did revise my opinion on Joshua after episode 4. He does actually have some potential when they give him something to work with.
Yeah.
Well, something we've often commented on is that we're not sure how much is direction based and acting ability.
Since I think, since from what I've seen online, he plays every version of his ancestors through time, right?
He does, yes.
Really? God damn.
And he actually shows a bit of range.
That's actually kind of impressive, not gonna lie.
Yeah, especially when I was comparing him to Robert Pattinson, so oh, that's quite a change for me. Yes, Kai, I know that you think Robert Pattinson can act. We disagree on that.
I think it depends. He was okay in Harry Potter, and he's decent in the Batman. But I think in Twilight, he's terrible.
But yeah, he started out okay because I liked him as Cedric.
Yeah.
But I didn't even recognize him as Robert Pattinson then. But for some reason, from Twilight and beyond, yeah, no.
Nynaeve is extremely squeamish about killing people.
I don't know what the hell is going on with this.
I guess it's post-compulsion sickness or something. I don't know.
Or maybe I've seen people bring up that maybe it has something to do with their visions. And okay, this is a refresh my memory thing. But Min could never do anything to change the outcome of her visions, could she?
Nope, never.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, what are they doing? Okay, at least my memory hasn't completely failed me because I'm like, what the fuck are you people talking about? No. The interpretation, but they've made her visions literal, so that's a difference too.
Oh look, there's a gray man, and he looks like Prince Nuada from Hellboy.
Also, you know how in that image you were talking earlier of them all being the dark ones? Why was Min the like some weird broken down white one?
Also, another problem that I have is just why is Min being trusted with anything? She's a dark friend. They would kill her. Making deals with the shadow is not something that is at all a casual thing. That is something really serious.
Actually, though, has Matt told anybody that?
Possibly
That's
not.
actually a really good point. I have no idea. That's actually worse. Why would he not tell anybody?
So does Matt even actually... Okay. Does Matt even know about Ishii?
He should. I thought Min told her.
Well,
him.
Well, no, I know, but does he know about the connection between Min and Ishii?
Well,
I thought she told him everything.
So he did say that she sold him out to the Forsaken.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, so it doesn't need to be an issue.
Has Matt shared that with anybody? I mean,
we've not seen him.
Wait. Hold on. Sorry, I'm trying to work my way through the show logic or what the show has told us. So Moraine actually knows all this shit because Moraine is the one that basically sold Min out to Leandrin. I swear to fucking God, they literally have made Moraine a dark friend or a fucking 8th Forsaken in the show. Everything she has done, because isn't she the one that set up Min with Leandrin?
I don't think so.
I do, because Moraine knew Min's secret and has threatened her about that.
I think Min just got sent to Tarvalon, just went to Tarvalon. That's my understanding.
I'm talking about back in season 1.
I'm gonna go get some chocolate.
I think that she I think that she sent a message to Amalisa about Matt.
Right, but there are scenes. So when Matt and Min break out of Tarvalon, right? And so that's when we find out for sure that Min has been working with Leandrin, that Leandrin is blackmailing her over her aunt's human trafficking her to the circus, right? And then is she therefore promising Min that he would take away her visions? But Moraine is tied up in that shit. I swear there's something in there about Moraine is the one that made Leandrin aware of this shit.
Oh man, I don't know. That would make it worse. I really do
I'm
not
not
know.
going back to rewatch but something in my brain is going, wait, Moraine was aware of this and it fits show Moraine anyways.
Yeah, since Show Moraine is a psychopath.
Well, she literally, I say it quite often now, but she literally is a dark friend. She can break her oaths. She works with the Forsaken. She sends men to the Reds. Men who can't even channel, for fuck's sake.
Okay.
She betrays her warders. Well, her warder, I should say. She murders.
Yeah.
Instead of being the epitome of what an Aes Sedai should be, they showed what the epitome of a Black Ajah member should be.
Okay, so this is according to the show Wikia. In episode 2, she apparently was spotted by a Red Ajah Aes Sedai. And was originally working as a bartender.
What do you mean
and
fought
she got
for?
tossed in. And he meets Min, who is imprisoned by Leandrin. After Leandrin releases Matt, he gets Min out as well. She secretly speaks to Leandrin, who has been manipulating Min all along. So,
well, I'm
from
not
what
that worried about, because I don't know that the show would actually, or that the show wiki would maybe say something about that. I swear to God, there's something in there though.
I'm
impressed they made even one Aiel man seem genuinely taller. He's the only person I've seen that's not like the same looking height.
They also clearly can't afford very much because that's a very tiny group of Aiel.
I hate this show. Why would you
I do
put your
like their
mask down?
casting for Ruark.
I think it's fine. I don't think you really need anybody particularly impressive to play Ruark since he's not that big of a character and doesn't have a whole lot of range.
I'm just glad they let him be tall.
Shut the fuck up, Avienda.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a dumb thing. Sword spears are a thing. There are spears that have blades that are very similar to swords. Those are a class of weapons. I wonder what the original, like the Aiel who drifted off the group would think of warhammers. Since those have very little purpose outside of combat.
It is kind of odd that they've decided to mix Bear and Amis into one person.
I can see why.
Like, I get it, but it's just odd.
And what are those people who says they shouldn't merge nearly as much as they do? Well, Pips would be like, let's merge and remove everything. I would never trust Pips with an adaptation.
I'd be okay with merging a few people. I think merging Bear and Soralia is fine, since they functionally serve the same purpose. Purpose within the story, and Bear pretty much becomes irrelevant later on.
Oh, go the fuck away, Alana. Jesus Christ.
This bit is really weird because apparently the ashes on her cheeks are the remains of her dead warder after he's been cremated.
Well, you know, the funny thing is, at first I went, what the hell? But then I kind of went, well, you know, my whole thing about, you know, cremate me and smoke a little bit of my ashes with some good weed. But still, somehow I think it's different. I suspect that might actually be a practice from some real world culture that they pulled into the show like they did with Stefan's funeral. But I'm still going,
It's like, why? Just why?
well, no, it's like, come on, look, Jordan built the world he built has enough very cool things and, you know, whatever, and they just keep pulling in other shit.
Because as far as they're concerned, nods and shit to the real world are more important than keeping with the world that was built.
I guess they keep having to remind us of the fridging, Neil. Yes.
10 out of 10 writing, yeah. Does it suck? Yep, it sucks.
Please shut up.
We don't care about Rafe's stupid boyfriend. Boyfriend getting more excuses to act.
The last thing I want to hear from someone grieving is basically, this is how they fucked me.
I don't
Well, and
care.
what the fuck is that about, Alana? What, you don't think parents ever lose children? That's one of 3, you stupid fucking writers, okay? Jesus Christ. It's not about owning the grief. Oh, yeah, grief is a very limited thing. You know, I get 75% of it and you get 25% of it. You're not doing your part. Fuck off, people.
Also, why are they
Okay.
making Bane
Now
and
I'm getting fucking irritated. Why am I doing this?
Also, one question that I have is, why are they making Bane and Chiod super horny?
Oh my god. Yeah, because, you know, Maiden's Kiss is all about. God.
Why do they make the Aiel horny? Fuck you. Fuck off.
Also, like, why are they trying to play Maiden's Kiss with Loyal of all people?
That's not loyal.
No, they tried to earlier.
They did? What the fuck?
Yeah, like...
Especially since Aiel have reverence towards Yogir.
Yeah, like, watch.
Oh god, why are you... No, don't rewind.
Yep, look. They're trying to make him play Maiden's Kiss.
Yeah, like they just go from outsider to outsider doing this.
Yeah. And that is Lord Luke. And that's Fael.
Granted, I am immediately irritated by Fael. I can't put my finger on it, but they're doing the same thing with Fael that they've done with Matt. And I can't quite put my finger on it. Because, yes, even I agree, Fael could be very irritating in the books. But I kind of get it, and I relate to her in a lot of ways. But it's like they've made some... I don't know how to explain it. It's like some weird...
The thing that I think is weird
other
is,
dimensional representation. You know what I mean? Like it's some weird mirror image or some weird, I don't even know, like role-playing version or something. I don't know how to explain it. Sorry.
and then there's Dane Drunk Cloak. And for some reason, they're bringing back Eamon Valda because reasons.
Wait, isn't he dead?
No?
No, but he still has his arm in a sling from Egwene's stabbing him in the shoulder with a penknife.
I see this Dane is supposed to be a opposite mirror representation of our Dane. This one seems almost like a decent person. Doesn't Iman Valda outrank you?
Yeah. Technically. Or, well, actually, we don't know. We don't know whether he's... We actually don't know. Like, I have no idea what the ranking is, since all I know is that Eamon Valda is just a questioner. That's the extent of my knowledge.
So see, they've taken the dagger sickness and turned it into memory sickness.
I'm guessing this is a self-insert on the writer's part, memory sickness. And it would explain all the plot holes in the show.
Bring it up with management. I don't know why, but that kind of rubs me the wrong way. I don't like her. I really do not like how Min talks.
I don't like anything about Min in the show.
Yeah.
And Min is damn near the best female character in the books. Just, emotionally speaking.
Trip, as our person who has spied on them, what do the show sworn think of Min in the books?
They think she's a sexy lamp.
Yes. That she
Sexy
has no
what?
agency, that she's just, yeah.
Right. You to remember
At
their
least-
lack of reading comprehension.
At least most of them. Some of them are just like I think that the Wheel Reads is one of the more anomalous versions where they're at least like somewhat reasonable, even though they like the show, which is weird.
So why are these two okay? So the witchcraft symbol that since Leandrin is now fucking. Anyways, so the witchcraft symbol that they found, that oh my god, the logic that they come up with here that leads them to Tanchico is literally like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, the level of bullcrap is equivalent to that found in the doctrine of Scientology.
Okay, Mr. Mormon.
Scientology is way worse.
We're not going to get into that
Damn.
argument because we never get anywhere with it.
Look, Mormonism is like the Tinkers.
I'm just calling you out in a humorous fashion for making that comparison. He who lives in a glass house should not
Nope.
throw stones.
But mine isn't insane like Scientology.
Excuse me?
Glass house.
There's it's
Golden plates that nobody, that we only have the word of crazy white men that they saw and a stone in a hat translating behind a sheet, blah, blah, blah. Must I
Yeah.
go on? Don't talk to me about crazy shit in religion.
You know
I'm
what else
already
is pulled out of
pissed off
hats?
about this
Bunnies.
show.
Oh,
Anyway.
I agree that it is crazy, but there's a difference between that and between mid-level mysticism and insane alien BS.
Really? You believe that you're
Yeah.
gonna die and own your own fucking planet? Okay,
Yeah.
come on.
At least I don't think about Xenu is way weirder than Joseph Smith. Like Joseph
What's a
Smith,
Xenu?
he's
Really?
the main god of Scientology.
Scientology has a god? I thought it was just aliens.
Xenu's like the head god or something like that.
So head alien,
No,
head
he
honcho.
was like anyways.
I see Dunn's typing his essay.
He's a galactic dictator who brought billions of people to Earth, placed them around volcanoes, and killed them with hydrogen bombs. And then their spirits.
Yes, and then their dead spirits attach themselves to human beings, and you basically have to confess all your sins so that you can get the freaking aliens to detach from you, and blah 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 blah. It's all, I don't care what religion you're talking about, they're all insane.
Yeah, but Scientology has a particular level of crazy to it that is unusual.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
I'm down to admit there's some weird stuff in my religion. It's just there's a bit of a sliding scale. Scale of
They
crazy.
made Tanchico New Orleans.
Yeah, which is super weird because I did not get that sense from Chico in the books.
I don't really
Who-
remember what my impression of Tanchico was from the books because they didn't spend a shitload of time there, actually.
I was
There's
just
just
Singapore with a bit of the veils.
I did find, you know me well enough to know that I did get some enjoyment out of this particular scene.
I don't care.
Even though it's, once again, they're trying to make the Forsaken sympathetic.
Oh, Black Aja in this case.
It's just
Sorry.
like this
Same
isn't real. I
thing.
don't care.
Sorry.
Fuck off. I don't care. This isn't real. This isn't how she is. Fuck off.
And apparently Red Wedding 2.0 happened.
Fucking stupid.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed that.
I'm sure it's enjoyable, but it's still stupid.
It's kind of like it's like, and then they kill all of them. Why?
Fucking dwarf lady. Why?
Which is weird.
I don't even remember if Leandrin is actually from Tanchico.
She is. She is from Tarabon, at least. That's a massive amount of carnage.
I like Aleda more than most of the Aes Sedai.
Yeah. Probably because Shora is a lot more charismatic than any of the actors in the show.
Not just that, she's the only one that seems to have any tact while everyone's being a bitch. This is just a known thing? What the fuck?
Apparently, yes.
Other than that, she is one, and also what a seer is. I thought she was like a unique anomaly over in Randland. The only people who seemed to have a name for their kind was the San-chan.
Yeah. And who knows whether or not this even were actual seers, since it seems like the idea has gone through a lot of telephone, which admittedly that's a Sanderson invention, but it doesn't wholly not make sense, honestly. This isn't bad. Like, this is what actually, like, one of my, I think, like, so far this is actually a legit good scene, even though what's around it is bad. And also, like, the writing for Elida is a lot better than anyone else's in the show.
Why does Min look like she's dressing up to own a casino?
Because they think that having a pantsuit equals Min?
It's like, one, that style came a bit later. One, she shouldn't be having such nice clothes yet. Two, she just looks fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
like,
it's a weird choice.
Her clothes were meant to be like not conform to the feminine dresses, but still accentuated her feminine features. This just makes her look like she's trying to act like some owner of a boat.
Well, God forbid they follow the books and actually have her in a dress with, feminine trappings.
Even though the point of it was that she hated it a lot.
Yeah, because what she's wearing now is not really that different from what they've had her in before.
Yeah. It's just...
Which, quite honestly, and some people are going to hate this comment from me, and I don't care, that might hear this, but basically they've taken Min and have made a dyke out of her.
Wow.
Honestly, she's not wrong. She looks like she's trying to be a boy, which is kind of what Min was doing, but not really at later parts.
Min just liked wearing boys' clothes.
Yeah, she wasn't trying to be a boy. She just wore boys' clothes, but not like this either.
Well, it wasn't even the fact that it was boys, men's clothing. It was the fact that it was,
she found it comfortable.
In a lot of ways, much more practical.
Yeah.
And actually sexier than female clothing, But I think for Min in the books, it really came down to kind of independence and practicality.
Yeah.
And
it was nice how she basically started a fashion revolution based off of that.
Well, here we come to Quentin Tarantino's favorite scene.
Oh no.
You're
not even fucking him. Why are you bringing it? What?
Because of her feet.
Bare feet. Tarantino has a foot fetish.
I don't give a shit.
I know.
Tarantino and the dungeon crawler AI would get along very well.
I may look a dirty little damage, but you got a hairy foot fetish, dog.
I still love how the AI has a foot fetish. I don't care if it's been 6 books.
That's not what Lanfear wants. Even if this is a manipulation, Rand is stupid for believing this.
No!
No, God, and here we get.
You motherfucker! Fuck you! 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 No!
I think they took the whatever it was Egwene uses in the last
Vora's.
battle.
That's Vora's song reality.
No, Sarkarnan is Diamond Dreads.
No, wait, hold on. I
Yeah.
am well aware of what Sakarnan is, okay?
Okay.
But I think what they did is they took that one and said, okay, well, we're going to take and name it the Sakarnan, and then we're going to make it the female mirror of Kalendor and pretend those are the Choden Call.
I guess so, yeah.
Basically what they're doing, which is fucking stupid. There's so many issues I have with that. One, Kalendor is the most powerful Sangreal, second to Choden Call, which makes a Choden Call's sheer level of power just kind of awe-inspiring. Like it's capable of just carving up the whole world. It really shows you how much power you would need to fight the Dark One head-on. And two, just fuck you. There's so much about the Choden Call that's important to Rand. You know what the actress looks like? Have any of you seen Tom Holland drag?
Yes, I saw that particular skit on, I think it was Jimmy Kimmel.
It's not a skit. It's
Or-
real.
Oh, well, not like
Tom Holland in drag. Have you seen it?
I saw when he
Oh,
was.
wait, Shy, you need to pay attention to this because this is the scene I was talking about.
So
This
this is honestly
Land
really
pimping
strange.
Lorraine.
I was thinking more he's trying to be her wingman / set her up.
There.
Yeah.
It's dumb. Either
Yeah,
way.
both are
Also,
bad.
I guess this confirms Boron's a dyke.
Well,
Lesbian.
and there's your tit shot.
There were tits there.
Very vaguely shown, but yeah. And
Oh, I see.
apparently-
Eh.
And this is just weird. This is really strange, honestly.
Yeah,
Is there-
that's right. She's like Land's cousin or something.
Well, from the same
That's weird.
kingdom. It's
Also,
weird.
why are all the Aiel weren't just fucking everybody? What? Fuck off.
And just the fact is it devalues T-Grain.
I just don't like how they've made it basically that every culture in the world seems to just be fine fucking everyone and everything. When that's part of a culture, it says a lot about them. Because on some cultures it is more okay, while in others, like the Two Rivers and the Aiel, there was like rituals and somewhat prudishness about it. Like there was, it tells you a lot about what you know what I'm saying. Why do I even need to fucking explain it?
That whole thing is so dumb. This whole thing is dumb.
And now Melindra is Malkieri.
Fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really, really strange.
And
really
so
do
Lan
like-
is no longer a man alone.
Fuck you. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, show.
Yeah.
You are the worst.
Yeah, this is one of the most anger-inducing shows I've ever watched. And it's kind of funny that it's just like, why is it that Legend of the Seeker is a better show than this? And Legend of the Seeker is very much a guilty pleasure of mine.
You know,
Not a good show, but I love watching.
I have this incredibly strong urge to tie up every single fucking shipper in the world and then throwed him down into a fire pit.
Yeah, I think the shipper. Yeah, shipper. It's one of the few things that seems to have some merit that Gary from Nerd Rock said is that shippers have ruined media.
Because they're like, we want these characters to fuck. It's like, one of the biggest things that happen is when two characters have a lot of chemistry and then don't end up getting together. Because everyone kind of is like, aw, but it feels impactful still. Because if they didn't bend to that.
Yeah.
I want to know how they managed to keep making Loyal look worse every season. How?
Yeah, I do think though the afro in the first season was really, really bad.
Well, it was, but still, there's just some. I don't know. I don't.
The costume department has managed to somehow become worse. I think it needs to be scientifically studied. What do you mean, keep it on? What the fuck do you mean, keep it on? Fuck you!
We don't care.
Great, so you make Alana this bitch, and then you make him the only one who gives a shit, because I hate you so much. I hate it. I hate it so
you
much.
have a very good question there, Maxim.
Why are you pointing out the show doesn't even make sense? Oh no, they're mixture boxing while Alana is here. That's hilarious. That's so funny. Oh man, it's great. They just
I hate
can't
you, show.
stop. They just can't stop.
Your mystery boxes are nothing but bullshit, you fucking wankers.
Yeah. Yeah, they just keep on doing it. They're mystery boxing it. They're just like, oh, what? Like, not even Maxim knows. Not even Maxim knows why they're here.
This is my bet, is that Fail is gonna either try to kill Matt or hook up with him.
Perrin, you mean?
No. I said exactly what I
How
meant
is
to
she
say.
ever going to run into Matt?
Horn of Valir, somehow it'll happen. This is this show. She has fast travel.
No, hasn't Matt already given Swan the horn?
Probably, but still the horn blower.
Well, no.
Why you think?
Kai, haven't we already gone past that scene?
Where?
I thought that scene explained he's still the horn blower.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
Oh, where?
he gave the horn to Swan.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, he gave us.
I'm still saying, because he's the horn blower, they're gonna try and have Fail fuck with Matt, either by killing him or actually fucking him. I still
I
think this
can't
is
even
gonna happen.
imagine how Fail's ever going to meet Matt in the show.
Yeah, but it's this show.
No, even this show.
If it happens, I'm going to lord this over both of you forever.
And besides, Matt is gay.
So, again, this show. You never together.
Wow!
What?
Sawed off!
Haven't you seen this guy?
I forgot that he apologized to her. That's freaking awful. Wow, great. I forgot about that.
Fuck
man.
you. I hate you so much.
Oh, look! There's the hanging.
Why? That's a
And the
past
funny
vision.
thing is, she sees him hanging from the doorway. So now we know what they plan there.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Multiple things.
I want to fucking punch this man right now. Matt, please kick his ass.
Oh,
Please.
it's about to get interesting.
And why do they pronounce her name Leanna?
She can't even make that joke. She can't even make the joke, I followed the rats, not with her oats. We know that. Jokes are considered a lie by the Odes. As if you want that power? Fuck off.
I have to admit, the way Shrora presents Elida really does make me think she should be the Amerlin.
Yeah. Especially because Swan is psychotic.
Elida's just the only one that's currently acted even remotely like an Aes Sedai with any competence. With the reserved behavior.
Exactly. She would have made a fantastic Cadsuane.
Oh yeah. Everybody and their mother was saying she is perfect for Cadsuane.
And Cadsuane's in this season, right?
No idea. Nobody knows.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, because I kept hearing that. How they were going to have both of them.
I legit have no idea. And this bit where Marcus Rutherford proves that he is a really bad actor. Poor guy.
You've been attacked already. What the fuck?
My gosh, the acting in this show freaking sucks. Poor guy. I really feel bad for Marcus Rutherford because, like, wow, that is a really, really bad delivery.
I'm being tortured.
I don't know. Somehow I never pictured Perrin as a sloucher.
Neither have I. He's a blacksmith. He stands a shit ton.
Rand, it's kind of described that Rand is slightly a bit of a sloucher, mainly so that people, because he's so tall, he's self-conscious about it.
Oh, fuck me.
Wow.
No. Please break their teeth.
Yeah, the whole context. Great. The whole context.
Matt, please use that quarterstaff to bash me in the temple till I forget the show. I think my brain's delete button might not be able to save me from this.
Oh, and why do you think Tiny Sedai is being set up with the memory stuff? How does he know his name? So this is the setup for the fight. And it's all about, and it's not because he is a talented swordsman or talented with a quarterstaff, and there's no context for why. He's able
And it's
to
not about because he's desperately in need of money because he wants to get the fuck away from Tarvalon.
and it acts as
Because
the,
he seems to not give a shit.
And because he's like, an actual independent human being all on his own, not fucking whining after fucking Nynaeve. Fix me, please. You gotta heal me. The context completely ruins this whole scene. We have no watchers. We have, no story, no training, no nada, nothing.
no.
There's literally nothing left of this scene
Also,
that
there's
makes it the fantastic thing that it is in the book. And the music, fuck off.
it's trying to be super emotional, but it's very much bull.
Well, if you're not familiar with the books, I guess I could get it because you'd have no fucking clue what this scene is actually supposed to be all about.
There's also one of the worst bits that's frustrating about this is the fact that the implication is that Matt is able to beat them because of magic BS. He's not able to beat them because of his own skill. He's able to beat them because the memories are feeding him stuff.
And what have actually made Galad and Gawain petulant children, actually all three of them, are just petulant boy childs, which, sure, in the books there's a touch of that aspect because of their age.
And also
but
because
not
Gawain
like
is one.
Not like this. There's
Gawain's actually
literally
doesn't-
no understanding of human nature, and I really, after watching the finale of Severance, I cannot find any slight mercy in my heart at all for the writers of this. No matter how hard they try to bring in book elements, I can't. The disparity between the talent is just like, wow.
Here's a question. With how the show is doing, could you even distinguish Gawain and Galad at all as characters?
Nope. And Gawain doesn't really become a petulant asshole until book 6. That's the main part where his he becomes an ass.
It is seriously, though, an incompetence to not be able to have Galad distinguishable from Gawain, considering Galad's personality is very distinctive.
Yeah. Galad is the Paragon stereotype.
He is very much lawful good.
Rael is not her real name. Jackasses.
Look, when you want to fuck with someone, you don't give them the real name, you give them the play name. She gave him the play name, signaling she wants to fuck.
This bit's amazing. And apparently Matt is going with them to Tenchiko.
Why?
I have no idea.
No, he's going with him because he's got to tag along with Nynaeve so that she can heal him from his memories.
Or rather because...
Fuck you.
Oh, no, I think Tiny Sedai is going to heal his memories.
Well, I know. Who knows? Who the hell knows? But that's the reasoning at this point.
I have agony.
And we once again have Leandrin doing witchcraft.
I think it's actually the weirdest part is it's not meant to be witchcraft. It's meant to be a some kind of funeral ritual.
Okay, they're in New Orleans and she's fucking doing voodoo.
Yeah, true.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah,
I hate you so much.
I hate it too. It's freaking terrible. These people are numpties.
Why can't you ever watch anything good like Severance? Jesus.
I have watched a good chunk of it. I'm partway through season 1.
I will watch the finale probably by tomorrow.
I am glad to know that Amber seems to have really enjoyed the finale. At least that's what I took her comment to mean.
Fuck you. You haven't even... Fuck off. They haven't even explained that those collars work only for women for the Sanchan and why. They haven't even done that. And now they're being like, oh, this will collar romantic. Why? How? Fuck you.
Why do they keep having to have Mogideon do that?
Because
they want to make her Psycho River Tam. I think it's almost like it's because that's what it she reminds me of a less well written River Tam from Firefly. So, how you guys feeling? You want to do episode 3, episode 4?
I want to see what you two watch episode 4, because, like I said, there are elements.
All right, let's do
Let's
it.
just get in. Let's get this shit over with.
So I'm kind of curious since.
Wait, can you pause? I want to get more chocolate. I require snacks.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
I have been having snacks myself, but yeah, I don't know. Kind of like Pips. I don't know if you'd been looking at, any of the commentary on Red Hand about episode 4. But I watched this Thursday night. God, I was really tired too. I decided to watch it, and then I was going to watch the Severance finale afterwards. And I more or less agreed with Pips on the take that, and actually a lot of people, even Dane and Steve and stuff, they're like, okay, well, there were actually some somewhat enjoyable things here in episode 4, like the glass columns specifically, that are pretty darn book accurate, right? And they're pretty well done. There are an awful lot of them that, you're going to be like, no, there's going to be yelling involved. However, so I came away from watching episode 4 and going, okay, well, they do at least have some stuff in here, and okay. And then, like I said, then I, turned around and watched what I still maintain for me is the best episode of television I have ever watched.
I will watch it tomorrow.
I know, but no, I'm talking about that disparity. So on one hand, it was watching, with the expectations that we have from the skill level that we've seen presented to us in, season 1 and 2 of Wheel of Time, and doing that comparison and going, holy crap, Episode
Bas-
4 actually gave us some book accurate stuff. There was actually some decent acting in here. There was actually some things to look at and go, okay, well, that's kind of cool. And all right, so then watching that finale and going, okay, holy crap, no. Now I have to revise my opinion of even being acceptable, accepting of episode 4. And not only that, then after giving it time to sit and simmer for a bit, and Pips and I had talked about this a little bit too, and going, well, now they're just slapping us in the face too by going, see, we could do it if we wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you saw the best that Wheel of Prime had to offer, and then saw the best Severance had to offer, and it broke your brain a bit.
Well, it made me revise my opinion of episode 4, but it also really angered me all over again, just to the effect of, if they had started Wheel of Time with what they've done in parts of episode 4 here, by the time we had gotten 4 or 5 episodes into season 1, I think they would have started to hit their stride, and Wheel of Time could have been pretty fucking good.
Oh yeah.
That's what makes me go, okay, now I'm much more on the malicious train, not
We've
the
known
incompetence
this.
train.
No, I think it's both. It's definitely a combination of both.
Yeah, well, my needle is slung a lot heavier on the malicious side, because this is literally, and Rafe wrote this episode.
Wow.
I was wondering who wrote it. I was going to ask us to look it up. Also, I
So
think it's...
right here, I'm sorry, I probably distracted you. Did you notice, Shai? You just
What?
got the Flame in the Void, finally.
I'm seeing. Yeah.
So
I really
here
do.
we're finally getting a lot of the shit we're supposed to get.
I really do wonder, if I did meet Ray in real life, if I could restrain myself from trying to assault him in the balls.
Yeah, it's very much this is a beyond a piss me the F off show. This is if this was a person, I would assault it show.
Like, I just want to kick that man for everything he's done and his insufferability.
And somebody, maybe it was Steve, made a good point about all of these that are very true, which is we get like a Rand and Lan moment, and later we get like the Rand moments in the columns and stuff, but then it immediately has to go right back to Moraine. It has to become about Moraine again and again and again. Every time.
I'll say this. Ego might be the most easy quality in a person to hate, just unequivocally. And since this show is basically an ego project, it makes you hate it all the more for the person behind it. Stupidity, incompetence, all that. You don't hate those quite as vehemently as ego.
It is kind of funny though that Randall Thor, just by virtue of the fact that he has no emotional attachment to the ideal being warriors, he's able to survive Rudion. Because that's what usually kills him. It's just because he's just like, oh, cool, interesting history lesson. Listen, he's not mentally broken by it like the others might be. Like his the guy going, oh, this bit, I hate this bit. And she kicks his. I hate the fact that she kicks his butt.
Just when you thought Avienda couldn't be any more unlikable.
Oh, I never thought that. Kick her ass, please. Kick it.
Also, she would never behave that way to Lan. She would never behave that way to anybody.
And Lan would never behave this way either.
Yeah. Lan, the level of immaturity on display here is staggering.
I mean, basically, Lan would have just looked at her and walked away.
He would have been like, you're a child.
A common thing in most, not just this show, but so many others, you can see how awful a writer is by the qualities they should have on every character shared.
Yeah.
Well, I really don't understand it. I've noticed it for a long time with female representation in movies and shows and even books sometimes. Is for some reason there seems to be this belief from women as well that the more cunty a woman is, the more likable she is.
Yeah. Hey, don't think
And I'm
this
like,
restrained.
no, that's really not actually how it works. Women seem to like that representation.
Oh, this bit is so stupid. Oh, wow.
I don't know why, yeah. But it's not even just a woman in the show. It's every character has an ego in this show. Every single one. And all their actions seem to be based off of that ego.
Well, it's like everything that should be done privately is done in public, and everything that should be done publicly is done in private. It really is like they've flipped on its head so many of the things.
There's also an element of Avienda is not this much an abhorrent, awful bitch.
How is Rafe gay? It's like, this is the kind of shit you might expect from someone who has a fetish for it. But he's fucking gay.
This is not meant to be done in public, you jackass.
Well, and even the sweat tent, this is why I need to go back and reread my favorite parts, because the show messes with things I haven't read recently. Because even the sweat tent scene, wasn't that just the wise women and Moraine and Egwene and Avi?
Yes.
And weren't Avi and Egwene serving as like the servants or whatever in there?
I don't know if Moraine was, but Avi was.
No,
Because she was
or Egwene,
Egwene?
I guess, wasn't. Well, no, I thought Egwene was because her training had already started.
Yeah, I think Egwene at one point starts to serve that role as well. Which, by the way, the show does not mention the Aiel reference for Aes Sedai, because of course not. Or even the Aiel and Karhine War. And how Moraine should be semi-hated and how that balances out. Yeah.
This is just weird.
Why are you awful, show? Why are you incapable of doing anything?
'Cause Rafe is borderline mentally brain dead.
Can a eunuch be gay?
Well, they don't. A big problem with the show, I know it's been discussed a lot, is, but none of these things ever feel earned.
Nope. You cheat it. It's basically like EFAP says this a lot. It's you're cheating. You're lying to me.
Well,
It's not fair.
Well, we
The
get
show's
no setup
all
for how harsh the Aiel society really is. We only get little tiny glimpses of it. And so you gain no sense of the Aiel as a people and who they are and how they have to live and why these things are so important, you know?
well.
Like why Avienda would be acting here the way she is, or why this is such a big deal. And yeah, it just, without the book knowledge, it'd be like, what the hell is going on here?
Well, he raised two things I want to add off on. First, on the Aiel, the four books give so much history on who the Aiel are even before you meet them. They give you the history of who they are, their impression out of Randland. They mention their ability in combat. We see some of it, and them as a society, them as a people, you get a really good impression, which is really good for when you finally meet them because you see what created what we do see and hear about. And they don't have any of that here. There's none of the reverence that Aiel have. There's nothing showed out the wise ones in their society. Like, you wouldn't be surprised. Like, oh, because they don't know anything about how their society works. But then they find the wise ones basically have a very commanding role in it. And this should be something that's like, okay, this is telling. This is something to see. But they don't develop any of it. And then the second one, every payoff in this show relies on book knowledge. Either it's showing a book thing that's been twisted, or it's subverting it. How? Like, can you think of a single payoff in this show that isn't a twisted book moment or a subverting book moment?
Mark twice, but they shouldn't reveal that. Oh. They shouldn't reveal that until that happens, you dickheads.
That was an honest question.
I said, what?
Why they're just fucking spears here?
What?
Oh, gird your loins.
Why would they do that?
Savannah, really? Fuck you. Why are you here? You're not here yet. Fuck off.
They wouldn't.
No, fuck oh.
I don't think this. I don't believe that Savannah would wear that.
Really?
I'm like, that is super weird.
Why is it that every main antagonist female has to have a goofy ass headdress?
That is a super, super weird hat.
Doesn't Suwan also for a while have a goofy fucking headdress?
Why have they made the Aiel into African tribal savages stereotype?
Because the showrunners are secretly racist.
They seem to be in some weird fashion.
It's the backwards fashion of they'll preach against it, but at the same time they show themselves to really be it. It's the weird thing of you go full circle into being racist again. What? I like that actually a bit. But also, what do you mean he's presenting himself like a woman?
Because Avienda held her arms in a way, and then...
And I believe that's actually book accurate.
That is
if
book
memory
accurate, yeah.
See what I mean? They do really present some book accuracy here.
Well, I think that so how it does... I think how it was he didn't present himself like a woman in the in the book. It was an ancient style was the way that apparently he asked. At least from what I recall from from Shadow Rising.
Well, it's like they merge into the main timeline and then they wildly diverge suddenly.
Yeah.
They really do.
I know it's book accurate, but because of how the show is, her asking just makes me feel like fuck you. Because it feels forced. Like it's supposed to happen, but they don't ever happen in a smooth way.
I don't
Don't
believe
tell
they
him.
tell him. Okay, thank you.
Don't tell him that.
I think they're doing it because they think their audience will not understand.
Basically, they think the audience has their level of IQ. Unfortunately, they're not half wrong.
That's kind of the funny thing about it is just like, oh, look.
Oh, God. Fuck off. Why is Moraine carrying a bazillion knives? Why is she taking Matt's
thing. Yeah.
I would just want them all dead. I really do.
I do like their little, the I do like what they were saying there.
Yeah, that bit is pretty much pilfered from the book is how I would it feels like it's pilfered is how I would describe this show. It feels like it's pilfered and stolen. It isn't earned at all.
There's nothing about this show that'll ever make me feel good no matter what they do. That's an issue. Nothing ever feels right. Oh, okay. Now we're getting the stupid sequence. I'm just watching this and thinking, why isn't it Matt?
I know, so am I.
Because it's super weird how they've decided to go about doing this.
It's like Miranda and Matt have so few scenes together after a point too. This is like one of their last big ones before they end up kind of separating.
Maureen,
Just shut up. I like how we have the same reaction.
You're not the main fucking character, Maureen.
I think that's a Rosamund Pike thing. She wants very badly to be the main character of this whole stupid effing show.
Because she's as ego-driven as Rafe. She is very much at fault. If I want to make Rafe into a eunuch, I'd want to make her into a corpse.
Somehow I pictured a Vendosaura much larger.
It looks. Wait, what?
I kind of wish Avendosora was, those trees that are so large they look like several trees? You know what I'm talking about?
Sorry, I was reading Hillbilly's comments and going, strongly disagree. They are not doing the best they can.
How the
But
fuck is Hillbilly walked in here?
and they seldom do the books justice.
Hillbilly, there's not a single thing you could point to that's good. You may try. I will yell.
Season per
And
book.
yeah, a season per book would have let it be much better, and if it was done well and followed the source, material, generally speaking, yes. And there's no way they would have gotten 14 seasons or something, and there is a lot of material that could be combined or left out, especially during the quote unquote slog,
I could see
field
Path of Daggers and
capture, certain things like that could be done a lot quicker, right?
I could
If
see
done
Path of Daggers and Winter's Heart being combined pretty easily.
Wow, they are making that connection way too, really, really badly.
Fuck off.
So yeah, even though those of us who are pretty hardcore book fans look at it and go, yeah, there could definitely be some things that could be changed for an adaptation or brought together, even bringing down the number of Forsaken,
It's
but
an interesting discussion and struggle. It's a genuinely interesting thing for anyone who's read the books on how would you do it. We're not against it happening. It's just
but for instance, like what they did with Eye of the World, really? No.
unrecognizable.
And taking away certain achievements and giving them to other characters just because they didn't feel it was fair for, Rand to have certain moments and different. No. Because that's a different story now.
Mm-hmm.
But, anyways, this part is, this part is pretty good.
It's kind of weird that they decided to make Samael have beards because that's.
Well, and they're very inconsistent about when they have the Aiel veiling and when they don't.
It's mainly when they want to do these performances, these faces.
Question. Doesn't it start from furthest past to most recent past?
It starts at the founding of Rudion, and they just invented this bit.
It starts
Yeah,
at
but the
founding of
visions
Rudion? I thought it ended there.
themselves start most recent to most oldest in the books. Because I remember I had to reread that section a few times because it is honestly very different and very confusing. It's like, wait, what? Wait, you know?
I have such a different memory of that.
But it doesn't really, even though this is created, an invented memory or scene or whatever, vision, whatever you want to call it. I mean, honestly, it really doesn't bother me because I get why in an adaptation in a show where they're, tying it back to him being born on Dragon Mount.
Honestly, if we consider the fact we do see Tigraine in the show, having it see the father looking at it is a good way to show the audience what's happening. Like, this is a clear way to say we're looking in the past, and if they didn't have to bluntly outright fucking say it earlier, that would have been.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, but they sometimes spell out things they shouldn't or don't need to, and don't actually explain the things that they should because they're being inconsistent with some of those things.
They're kind of making it a little bit harder than it was in the book. In the book, it's kind of easy for Rand.
It's because they can't understand how to do anything without making it overly dramatic.
Yeah.
They're making it seem like a really big struggle when it was it was just normal steps and each one brought him there.
I
don't know, that part didn't bother me.
Yeah, I don't think that I'm not bothered by it. It's just kind of eh.
Oh, that looks nice.
Yeah, that's interesting. So this is actually this part where it starts in the book. It's weird that they have freaking seashells around his neck.
I know. I don't like.
Why would you put freaking sea?
They did the same thing with Savannah. The jewelry really throws me. I could understand the ivory pieces.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
It's not book accurate. Part of me would be like, if they avoid the ocean, trading seashells with them might actually be something kind of luxurious for them. I could see that being an element in their culture, but it's not really something book-based. I'd have to think on it if I'm fine with that.
It's mainly just that they would put it around the neck of a clan chief is kind of the weird part.
Again, if it was something where they mentioned how, again, Aiel don't really ever see the ocean, this would be something rare in their place, and so they get traded it. That could honestly work if you did the work for it. You get what I mean, right?
Oh, look!
Fuck you!
God.
I'm assuming that's the Sangreal. That's the Sakarnan.
That would be Sakarnan.
Why did you make Sakarnan a fucking white orb?
I don't know.
Like, Vora's rod has a more interesting design.
L'Atropose died in the Age of Legends. I said I don't live for 3,000 years.
They really do give their costume department way too much leeway, and they are way too pretentious and self-serving.
Highly.
Here specifically, I'm talking about her necklace. Like, what? Really? What? No.
That is super weird.
For a second, I was like, is it showing her Aja colors? But it shows more than blue. So it's like, nope, not that. Also, not sure if that would work in timeline-wise.
What the heck is this?
This is her creating the glass columns.
Which is dumb.
I don't know. I don't really have issues with this.
Let's just...
I mean, it makes sense.
Well, I just mean that they created the columns by channeling. And
Do we know how they created the columns, actually?
It's a ter'angreal, so no.
Yeah, nobody knows. I don't. It takes a long time to make ter'angreal from Elaine's descriptions.
Again, I'm not really having a big issue with that.
I don't have a big. It's just kind of odd.
They've made the glass columns much bigger and all that, rather than a smaller kind of ter'angreal thing.
This is the best out of all of them.
They sound like hobbits.
They do, actually, but still.
Why is the ter'angreal already there? Fuck you. Wouldn't they have just planted the seed at the city and not earlier? Or did they bring a sampling?
No, in the books they brought many.
Yeah, it's about 3.
Many cuttings.
I see.
Yeah, it was 3.
Oh no.
I think they sent out several cuttings with each, what do you want to call it, each little band that they sent out with the, the ter'angreal, angreal, and sa'angreal, with the objects of power, I guess would be the better way to put it.
Mm-hmm. It's so.
Did you put? Oh, okay.
It's just
sorry, it froze for a second. It's back.
Yeah, it's just that it's so twisted. Like this is an okay addition. I'm not mad at this bit.
I might now just remember my rage at the old Aiel.
They did cut out a number of visions that led back up to this point.
They have, but still. And this one especially, like you were just saying, you're not mad at this, but at one of the characters, which is what something decently done should make you be. You know what I mean? You should be feeling about what's happening, not about whether it's, correct.
I'm remembering the old rage I had even when reading the books, just that culture and how I hate them. But that's a good kind of rage. Like I said.
Yeah, but you saw my little thing about that.
I did. But my thoughts on it. I'm aware of your points, but I just hate them.
Yeah, since the Tukers are kind of morons.
No, they're not morons. They have taken oaths and they had particular duties and reasons for why they are the way they are.
Yeah, I'll say this. I hate the Tinkers significantly more because they tend to give that pretentious view toward everyone, not just within their own members. But I still hate them for what they do here.
They've lost the basis for their story and who they are. So all they have really remembered is that is supposed to be, quote unquote, a better way of life.
And they think
I'm aware, but you also know that I don't particularly care for those who try to remember or act like they think things are supposed to be and ignore any other view. Hence my hatred.
And yet, by your very take on that, you were acting like your take is
that is an impressive level of brutality.
You were saying, Trip?
No, watch this.
All right. Oh. They're doing a good job.
Yeah.
I feel bad that he died.
Yeah. See, it's pretty much just because they're doing the book.
And they're doing it well. The acting's going well here.
Yeah, exactly. And there's your
Do the Jedi eat meat?
From my understanding, no. I know
Damn.
Tinkers are vegetarian.
Yeah, but Tinkers are also Jedi but stupider.
Yeah.
I don't know, I wish we lived in a world where more people could be pacifist. But then I'm a fucking bleeding heart liberal too.
Yeah, I'm not a pacifist fan.
They pretty much just took the scene from the book
They
and
weren't dead.
transplanted it. And they could have done that with the whole show, but they decided not to.
This scene is
It
Yeah.
is, but also fuck you.
You stole that. You stole that. How dare you stand where you stood?
It's fine. They did it well.
Yeah.
It only needs to be good for this scene, and it works.
But do you see what I mean about Josh's acting when they give him something to work with?
Yeah, he's not bad. Yeah. He could have been good, and then they ruined it.
Well, they ruined the impact of that. This here in a moment.
They do.
What? This bit is fine. Like, this is an okay addition.
That was good. They did it well. Okay.
And they just they say,
No, and this is still good here.
Mm.
But now, of course, we've spent too much time with Rand.
Fuck you.
That was
Oh.
my exact one. I was all into it. I'm like, damn, this is pretty damn good, right? And
It was
then
the, it was
and
the
I
first
went-
time I didn't feel rage. At least not in the bad way. Still hate the Gen IL. Always will hate the Gen IL. And the Tinkers. All of them. Fuck them.
And it is kind of
yeah,
funny.
well, we will agree to disagree heartily on that one.
Mm.
I think one thing about that's interesting about
And
the,
of course,
the
he
wheel.
just channels the fucking tree open.
How
Knows
do you
right
know it's
where
there?
it is, and poof, there you go. Sorry.
The only reason we know it's in there is because of the visions. How does she know? Fuck you. Fuck you, show. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm
It's
glad
one-
that Hilly Billy seems to have decided that he was in the wrong place and has left. I don't think he can
One-
handle my fuck
No,
yous.
I'm okay with what he was saying.
Oh, I'm saying for his own sake.
Yeah.
I think he would lose his mind watching me say fuck you every 5 minutes.
Maybe depends. I know. With it's interesting. The Wheel Reads podcast. The two co-hosts believe that the song of the Tinkers is actually going to end up saving the day at the end, which is really funny because the song is, and they're past book 4 where it's revealed what the songs are or why they're searching for it. They're just tree singing songs, and that's been morphed and twisted by the game of telephone. So it's kind of
They
funny
think that
what
they're
people think.
what? Tree singing songs?
Yeah, so you know, so since
Okay.
that's what,
No, I
since
just
that,
didn't hear you.
but it's just kind of funny that the Wheel
What
Reads
the
podcast, they
hell?
think that the song is going to be some big thing that saves the day, when in reality it's just the game of telephone.
Why did a show sworn seem to just have a love affair with the Tinkers?
Well, not even that they have a love affair with it; they just think that it's more important than it is because it was brought. Wow, she killed. Like, what?
Are you gonna kill him now?
I don't know.
No, you really do just give flicker flicker.
Fuck's sake.
Wow.
They do flicker flicker for dis. I wonder if that was planned. I'm so shocked they included that. I remember Rand being very stoic about him killing himself at this point. He'd reached that kind of zen state. So it's fine if they break the roads for that, but not the killing one.
Interesting change because he was pretty angry. He just said, "You are lost." That's why they yelled. That's why they're called the Lost Ones. That's why and he just yelled after them, "You are not a Yeel. You are lost."
Hmm.
And the main reason was they abandoned their oaths to save the Sa'angreal.
I'm telling you, the show and the show writers have this thing with the Tinkers. I don't know who comes away from the series not thinking the Tinkers were useless. You killed that flower. You broke your odds.
And it has the orb in it. It's been growing there.
You saw it in the last scene. They have it just for some reason kept there. Because for some reason that's a
Although
thing.
it's like it's growing inside of it. That's just odd.
Never know about that orb is odd. You know what thing I really liked about
they do show you.
all right.
Also, another strange thing is just where are the Turangreal?
They
they
don't
just
really
super
define
cheap?
it. But
They just
also
super cheap or something?
I don't know. Something I always liked about the Turangreal, Angreal, and Sangreal is that they were very like non-generic or stereotype shapes. Like they'd be statues or jewelry or stuff like that. I liked how it would.
And also, it's just he's this solo. Like he's this solo guy when there were a bunch of Aiel that did that.
Oh, and here you come up on the two or three scenes that had me asking what I was asking about because I couldn't remember how much length of time there was between the breaking and the sending off of the Gen Aiel. You'll understand maybe why when you see this in the next scene. And Hillbilly, we can all definitely agree on that. I have to admit, Wheel of Time is probably not my absolute favorite, but it's, as far as fantasy series go, yeah, top 5.
Which one?
Wheel of Time.
Okay.
Hillbilly is still here.
Oh, he is. Sorry.
Oh, nice.
Or she. Sorry. Have been assuming gender there. Although it is, yeah.
Okay.
It is kind of like, okay, well, that is literally your most important Angreal. Why are you just sending it up? And
they're hidden in a stone. They're making it literally a sword in the stone. Oh, come on.
Are they gonna make?
Yeah, they're twisting here with the Sikarnan is a bit infuriating, but
highly.
Anyways.
And the thing is, they didn't. It's interesting that they've condensed it down to that single thing.
Yeah.
Admittedly, that since that was a big thing. It was they wanted to preserve the Aiel because they knew that the Dragon Reborn would come from their bloodline. They didn't really care about. They didn't really care. They cared about it, but they didn't. They were very much like, all we care about is making sure that they live.
So I'm wondering if they do get a further season, then if they're going to have Nynaeve using the Sicardan and Rand using Kalendor to cleanse the taint.
It'll be Moran if that happens.
Oh, I think they're going to shove Moraine through the door frame.
We'll see.
I really think that, but see, there you go. There's why it's inside the tree.
Doesn't really explain why it's in the tree. But
Now,
yeah.
this part is like, excuse me? So, if this ancestor is gay, how does he have a bloodline? I mean, it's literally a case of I don't care if one of his ancestors was gay, but when you just watch this, it's like, wait, that's not how biology works, dude.
Remember, they hate biology and reality.
But okay, so we had, what, about 110 years between this next ancestor, who is Farmer Rand, and everything actually getting to the point where they sent them off then. So that is another generation at least, because they do skip one. And although I do have to admit, I like the cool factor that they did in this next one. I do have a little bit of problem with some dialogue.
I think the hair is a bit. That was a little bit weird. That looks pretty bad.
Oh my! I did not expect them to show that.
So, and I honestly do not remember, because I still haven't gotten around to rereading the Glass Columns. Is one of his visions having a conversation with Mierin?
No, I believe
No.
the furthest version is him it's during the War of Power. There's Ogier singing, and I think it's near the end of it, maybe. And they get
yeah, because I remember the Nim and the Gen Aiel.
Yeah,
and then don't they far off hear the explosion of the boar? Isn't it something?
I think it's like in
that?
a city. He's in like a city, yeah. It's like a quick glimpse.
See, in this little part here, I don't even really mind so much that they have it being this conversation with Lanfear, but it does kind of bother me because number one, why would Mierin be actually having a conversation with a farmer, Gen Aiel, right? Because she was quite arrogant and, all that. So how would that have even taken place? And then second, they have Mierin acting, even if she's lying, right, or using political speech, they still have Mierin, even though she's the one drilling the bore, they're still presenting her as somebody who is saying, I'm doing this for the good of everyone, the good of mankind, which is a little bit lore accurate in a way, but they're not presenting her as, quite honestly, the power-hungry crazy bitch that Mierin actually was.
I'm kind of wondering why they have that sphere over a very small, irrelevant.
Well, yeah, we all have kind of wondered about that too, but still. I am going to give him the cool factor here. I will give him that.
I'm impressed they showed the sphere. Like, that's actually something I didn't expect them to do.
Kind of looks like a mini Death Star. And I have to admit, I got a giggle at myself when I watched this and how this happened here. I kept wanting the Eye of Sauron to appear.
I was thinking it kind of looks like Aku from Samurai Jack.
Oh,
This
that
part
one I
isn't-
don't know.
The
But I really
breaking-
did see where it's going dark there. I'm very tempted. I may go record that and put the Eye of Sauron in the middle of it and make a GIF out of it. I may very well do that.
I'm pretty sure that's not accurate though of them doing it at the sphere, because it was very location specific where the boar needed to be.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I think it was a sphere.
it was.
I think the workshop was a
it was.
sphere.
It was a floating sphere. Yeah, the Columdal was described.
Yeah,
as
the
a
column
floating-
doll is a floating sphere, but I don't think the boar was at where that was.
Yeah, it was.
It was?
Yeah.
They built the sphere over that place?
No, the sphere was there when the boar exploded within the sphere.
Do we know that for certain? We don't technically see the boar getting broken through.
Well, it's just we see that the column doll collapsing. So
Oh, I hadn't thought of it that way. Maybe it's like a mini black hole, actually. I do really wish. Okay, I know a lot of people really hate the dragons. I don't hate them. I just wish they truly would have carried them on to the back of his hands.
Yeah.
yeah,
The
they're,
I
effect of them going
picture
on
them
there
a
is
lot
nice.
differently, but I can be okay with that.
yeah. I'm okay with like minor design changes. My main problem is just the fact that they have worked and changed so much.
Well, yeah.
I'm surprised the dragons look as good they do, since I didn't expect them to be good at all.
And I
But-
hate this part. I really do. And at first I thought, okay, well, maybe they're bringing Avienda down a notch, right? Giving her a little bit of humility. Because Avi was pretty fucking irritating for me in the books. But she could also be humble, right? She could show humility in the fair way that the Aiel culture actually has, right? If that makes any sense. But I start to think it, and then, yeah, no.
Yeah. I do like how the tattoos, the effect makes it definitely feel like they're fused to his skin in a way that tattoos are more so than a normal tattoo. Fuck off.
Yeah, see what I mean? There for a few seconds, it was like, okay.
Bitch, you just saw evidence that he's gonna lead your people. Show at least like a decent amount of respect. Because there are times I'm pretty sure she does call him Wetlander, but there are moments specifically when he's showing that kind of behavior. And they're not meant to be necessarily disrespectful. Also, they still haven't actually shown why she ends up acting incredibly far-offish to him. There's a very specific reason. Which doesn't exist, of course. Oh, here
Oh,
it is.
yes, and our favorite goss scene.
What
Although, again,
the...
Why should-
I can enjoy that part because we get to see Lanfear kill Moraine
That was
countless
Moraine?
times.
Oh, I thought that was
like,
mid.
They're all... Wow.
Kill her.
Oh my god.
What the fuck? It looked like she didn't have a top there for a second. What the fuck?
I love... Oh my gosh, this is hilarious.
Oh my
Are
god!
they like?
I want to know how this scene was proposed that she would die this many times to Lanfear.
Are they like meta or something where they understand that people hate Rosamund Pike or something?
Because I can't imagine Rosamund Pike's ego would allow this or be by her suggestion.
I think it's more a case of they think they need to do that so they can show Moraine being convinced that Lanfear is a
Evil
bad
hoe.
person.
I say that this Lanfear is less of an evil hoe than the actual one.
Yeah, I actually rather like Natasha O'Keeffe as Lanfear, but
think
I
she's
just wish that they didn't costume her the way they do.
As not Lanfear.
That's that whole thing is weird. Yeah, I her outfits are really awful.
I guess it's like one of the most plain things of you just wanted to not do what she actually looked like for some reason. Don't know why. Again, we wish I could peek into your ill brains and see why you couldn't just have the style choice of she wears white. She is a Forsaken that wears fucking white.
Yeah, she did swear to the dragon, but I think like in that series of visions, she just died over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Which, yay. Rand, why couldn't you just let her die? Is this, in the Hills of Tenchiko song and the thumbnail on it, is that who he's carrying in it? I thought it was a Egwene, but is it Moraine he's carrying? Fuck that shit.
Yeah, it's Moraine. It's been on the posters for everything for the past.
Remember that I don't pay attention to that shit. Shouldn't Egwene be going in there?
No. Egwene never goes into Rudian.
Don't you need to be an apprentice?
Nope. Not only if you're trying to be a wise one.
Well, remind me, I'm forgetting a bit. Egwene eventually does become basically their apprentice, but so did they skip that kind of part because she's not gonna be a wise one?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just since she's not going to be a wise one, they just teach her. Oh my!
They give her wise one training. She's treated basically like she's being trained to be a wise one.
Yeah, but it's just like she is not required to. Like she even asks if she's supposed to, but then they tell her no.
I see.
Yeah.
I remember they had a vision that Moraine had to go in, but I forget how they kind of did that with themselves, that exception. Was it just because of the, I know it's because of the vision, but I wonder how they felt about sending someone who's not going to be a wise one to see those visions.
They were resigned to it. Based on their dialogue, they were just very resigned to it because they're like, if she doesn't go, the whole world is doomed. So.
So, what did you two think overall?
It is the best episode of Wheel of Crime.
It is the best episode, but it kind of just makes me mad because most of the good stuff was just taken straight out of the book.
I'm aware she's there to learn how to dreamwalk Hillbilly. My thing was more on the emotions of the wise ones for training her and stuff.
Oh, well, I think Bear and Amis were just fine with it. From what I understand, they're just like, we're down to teach you.
Yeah, I remember they were okay with it. There's more like the specifics of her being an apprentice and treated like one and not doing that part. I was like, just that specific bit.
Well, I think, from what I remember, it was a case of they caught Egwene in the dream world before she went to the waste and more or less told her, you're going to get your ass over here to the waste or you're going to suffer the consequences because you should not be here and you do not know what you're doing.
Actually,
you're a child and you have no clue what you're getting yourself into and messing around with. And all of that.
Right. They catch her in like book 3, I believe, when she's like in I think Tanchico or
No,
something.
it's 4. Yeah, it's 4 at the beginning of 4.
Right, because she's going in to see like, is there something in Chanchico to look for? One of the IELs see her. They say, "Come here," and then they kind of treat her like how the I said I treat the accepted. Like you will get the basic amount of training and then leave.
Well, yeah, because she and Elaine and Nynaeve, I think, have been playing around with the Dream Ring while they're still in Tarvalon.
Yeah, though I don't believe the wise ones ever catch on to Nynaeve or Elaine ever.
Well,
They do. It's just that Nynaeve and Elaine just don't care.
I wonder if we're going to get the put Nynaeve in a cookpot scene. That would be fantastic.
That would be fun.
Maybe.
I
feel like that would go into their fetish of having this Aes Sedai in the cookpot. I feel like that's someone's run writer's wet dream.
Man, I don't know what it is, but this kind of just makes me...
It makes it worse, doesn't it,
Yeah,
after you think about it?
Yeah, it's like, you could have just been, like, it's super... Because most of this is just what I would do if I had the book in front of me, where I would just be like, all right, the dialogue's written for me. All I need to do is just direct the actors to a certain extent, and I can figure out what is essential and what needs to be cut, and then keep going. Maybe add some...
Well, yeah, and I could see, you know, some of the things of having to, I don't know, translate the dialogue a little bit or combine some dialogue, you know, because you are much more restricted on time. So I can even get that, or even trying, you know, putting things in dialogue that aren't necessarily in dialogue, like some of the explanation, you know, about what happens in Ruidian, you know, things like that are kind of helping your audience understand, right? You know, I mean, I do totally can understand some of that, but again, and even Barney leaving in season 1, I know we've all discussed that quite a bit, that no, that didn't need to completely change the arc of Matt's character. You know, sure, maybe then they couldn't have had him in episode 7 and 8, but I think we've all discussed that, well, he could have just remained in Tarvalon with the dagger sickness, right? And then they could have worked in some way to, you know, either tried to hire somebody quicker to replace Barney Harris, right? So that maybe they could have found some way to get him to to Faldara, or even if they had to leave him out of that whole segment, because granted, there's not a ton that, you know, Matt absolutely has to be there for Eye of the World, but they definitely could have found a way for him to rejoin, like Rand, in the proper method for the Great Hunt. But no, they had to use that as an excuse of why, you know, Matt's arc had to be completely different. No, it didn't. And Min's didn't need to be either, you know? So, yeah. It does kind of make it worse that it's like, what the hell? You could have been doing this all along. But no.
I agree.
Your arrogance actually, you know, said, nope, you're not going to do that.
I agree, it makes it worse because it's like proof of what we thought, but I'm at this point just apathetic to it because I've just been resigned to the fact that this is all a mixture of incompetence and malice. And I've kind of assumed like they probably could do better to this kind of extent and just don't because they don't want to. So I'm like, this is stuff I've already suspected and basically confirmed as known. This is just now proof you can point to.
Although
like for me, nothing's changed.
I kind of wonder, And I guess we'll find out as we go along this season, but I kind of wonder if they didn't make a bit of the switch to this in the hopes of drawing in more favorable reviews from quote unquote book cloaks, right? To increase their chances of getting further seasons, better reviews, more audience, something, maybe. But we also know some of the things they're going to be doing in the future ones. So
We'll torture
no,
the shit
I
out of
still
this
don't know. We know we're getting a Finn. So is it Matt that they're going to send through the doorway? They've now got Matt hanging from the doorway. So
Maybe. Do we know what episode the Finn come in specifically?
I think it's 8.
I think it's gonna be the season finale. I think Rand or Moraine are gonna go through the doorway asking the questions, and the show will end on their answers.
Maybe. From what I understand, the ending, the cliffhanger, is rather controversial as far as whether people are gonna like it or not. I guess.
Based on
That's
what?
the best
Where does
way
this
to
come from?
put it.
Show fans who have been given early access.
That's interesting, because it's like, what would show fans have a controversial mixed thing about? Typically, that only happens when they do something book accurate.
Or when it is super bad, like episodes, the finales of the respective seasons. There was a lot of people were like, no, they were like, we can't defend this. This is really bad.
I'm gonna have my...
It is really funny because, the places I lurk that, have the hardcore show fans, they say a lot of the same types of complaints that we do. They just leave, anything that might even border on quote unquote identity politics or, any of that kind of thing. They really don't touch on that much. But when it comes to the actual events that are happening and certain characters and stuff, there's a lot of the same exact complaints. But then, of course, they have to be so apologetic about, having any kind of a controversial opinion. Like I do know one of the biggest show fans that the one that somebody calls my nemesis. She is a Matt hater. She hates Matt in the books. And she loves Egwene. So if that tells you anything,
that does a lot. Yeah, actually.
Yeah, but she hated the finale of season 2 to the point where they had to create a thread to contain all of the any kind of negative discussion, and there were a lot of people, and then they gave it 30 days and then removed the thread. But I find it so ironic that a lot of their comments are their criticisms are the same as ours in probably 60% of the time.
Mm-hmm. And yet it's like a cult where they're just like, you will not criticize the show. You will not.
It's a thought crime place.
Yeah. You will not criticize the sacred cow. The sacred cow must live and not be butchered and turned into steak.
Which is really weird, but I don't know. Yeah, so, and I can't remember what episode 5 is. Do they have a next on Wheel of Time thing?
Probably.
They probably do. Let me pull that up.
I don't even remember what episode 5 is supposed to be called. I'm still waiting for it's gonna be more rain. I wonder if we get Alcardal in
Based on
episode
mine.
5.
Oh, if they do that, that's going to be like, that is major fast tracking.
Although, well, no.
Remember,
why
they
would
have to
that-
do Stone of Tear.
No, that's season 4.
They're saying Stone of Tear will be in the unconfirmed season 4.
That's their plan. Is Rand will go after Kalendor after he becomes Karakarn and leads the people of Dragon over the Dragon Wall into or whatever over the spine of the world to attack Tyr to get Kalendor. But
Alright.
episode 5 might be 2 rivers.
I think that's a little overly ambitious for them, considering the heavy doubts they're getting renewed.
Yeah, I very much doubt that they are going to get renewed. It's not doing well. It's doing pretty poorly by all accounts.
And yet there are many things that do get renewed and many fantastic things that don't. So
Yeah,
who
like,
knows? But that is kind of why I think that they might put more rain through the twisted doorframe Terangrial at the end of this season, because then she doesn't necessarily have to be the next character in there for if they get an episode 4 or a season 4.
so I found the
The
trailer.
world is changing. We don't win battles with politics and prophecies. We win with armies. You
Okay,
can't.
nope, that
For-
is. Okay, that is. Okay, where is it? Come on. Okay, there we go.
I have seen 1,000 futures. If the White Tower does not bend the knee to Randolph's war, he will lose the last battle.
I'm calling for a boat in the hall to cage the dragon reborn.
Bring me the truth, so I can take Elida's head.
The time for watching him is through, Egwene Sedai. We're going to walk the dream.
Yay!
Well, it doesn't look like episode 5 is 2 rivers.
Yeah, evidently not.
When are they? Well, unless they just didn't put any of that in the little promo for it.
No, just never trust promos.
Because episode 6, we know has Tenchico in it because that's when they're doing the song.
Mm.
Which I'll admit, I like the song. I've listened to it quite a few times now. I'm not sure if I'm
It
gonna
is
like
a very
how to-
bouncy song.
Yeah,
It's
I'm not sure if
very
I like it. I'm not sure if I like how to use it in the show, but I like the song by itself.
And agreed, hillbilly. And we don't even, honestly, we truly, as strongly as we feel about pretty much how terrible Wheel of Prime is and what has been done to it and the characters that we love, we actually enjoy having conversations with, people who like it, but don't go a different direction just because we don't like it. We argue amongst ourselves plenty.
Mm-hmm. We are less one-sided than quite a few people we know.
It,
Like dissent is welcome, but
I will yell at dissent because I am an angry
what is
person.
this? What is this?
oh god.
What is?
Stop it. Stop it! Just stop it! No.
What is that? Are you kidding me? Now they're
Who designs
vandalizing
these?
cars. That's vandalism. That is vandalism.
Why are you going past what you have in the show? The Shadow Rising one, I at least can semi-understand, even if it's boring. Fires of Heaven, what the fuck? You don't have anything for that. What the fuck is this supposed to reveal about Fires of Heaven? Book-wise
Well,
and
no,
show-wise.
this season is book 4 and 5, regardless.
What
of
about
whether
5 is it?
they say it is. I don't know,
Probably
but
one step.
It's like the same thing with last season. Like it's book 2 and 3. There are 0 3 elements. Go fuck yourselves. There was nothing about this which was 3.
And yeah, Billy, we definitely all change it or view it differently in our own minds, but I can promise you, never, ever, ever in any reread of Wheel of Time have I ever pictured Moraine as a murderer and a dark friend and an out-and-out liar, and,
Or Elaine and Avi fucking. Or Rand just having no fucking idea what he's doing. For so long. Or murdering someone in cold
and we're
blood.
not going to talk about Matt, because I tend to become very unkind if we discuss Matt and what Rafe did to Matt.
I was like, there's a discussion on changing things in story directions at adaptations, but this is less change of direction and more we're going a 180 and then going into a parallel plane.
It's basically I think I've heard the best. It's basically, it's like we aren't even gonna try. We're just gonna wipe our asses with the source material and show that we don't care. It feels like,
and honestly,
pilfer bits and pieces of it.
I think that pilfering part is kind of where it's the biggest offense, because again, we've all enjoyed adaptations which, despite being based off of stuff, are pretty unrecognizable, but still hold on to their own. The problem is the show does not hold on to its own by itself or as an adaptation, and it loves to take so many elements from the books that you need to have read the books to understand and won't in the show to remotely understand. They still don't hold. But yeah,
like Legend of the Seeker is virtually unrecognizable from the original source, and that's the good thing, because the original source is pretty bad.
Genuinely. If they didn't want to adapt the books, I would have said, don't adapt, don't even try, or even try to look like you're adapting anything. Just go completely different, and don't even try and pretend. Because I'll be less offended. I will still blame you for any shitty writing you do for your own thing, but at least not criticize you for failing to adapt something.
Yeah, especially when it's like, you don't needs added.
But we have 5 Taverin. Have you forgotten?
I haven't even explained what the fuck that is. Here's the thing. And like, there is some, but how, okay, question. What actually have they said about Taverin? Have they explained any part of it at all?
Focal points of the wheel is pretty much the extent of it.
Because I could see someone wondering, is Minna Taverin? Because she's like a focal point of the wheel in a way. She's seeing visions of the future. I could see someone asking, would Min be a Taverin? Because
yeah. Wow.
The reason we know who the Taverin are is partly because of the similar elements they all have. We see the commonalities between the three and how they work.
Oh yeah. No. Oh, you mean they explained it? Yeah. No. We have. This is the extent. I don't even know if like Taverin has been mentioned after season 1. They've kind of dropped.
Yeah, they don't mention it, but it's like, yeah, I could see someone in the watching the show only and asking, "Is Minna Taverin?" with how they've explained it and shown it, because it's not important to anything, despite the fact the Rand, Perrin, and Matt being Taverin is a constant element, and we see it all the fucking time. In so many different ways. Matt with his luck, Rand, and how basically all the events of the story to some extent shape around him due to his nature. And also the probability thing whatever area he's in. And Perrin with his ability to move people Those are all consistent elements we see, and we understand that as Taveran. And so we know that Min isn't a Taveran due to the future sight, because it doesn't fit with what we know of him. But in the show, you couldn't fucking know. Focal point of the pattern? What does that even mean in the show?
I think they've dropped the concept.
I think they have, which is really dumb. Because Taveran is basically a good excuse for so many things that happen in the story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They literally remove what is basically, and I don't mean this badly, a writing crutch to some extent.
That's actually a good point that Missima followed the path of Rand. Yeah.
Well, yeah. People move due to that effect. That's the point of Taveran, is their ability to move people and events around them. Matt's the only one that kind of only does it to a really small extent, and just specifically what he does and probability around him gets changed rather than having a much wider effect, with the exception of like Varen. And
yeah, but they skipped all that.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
And where is Missima, actually?
He is, sir, not appearing in this show.
Damn it! Where is my hot Missima? My hot Sima? Damn it, man! Damn it!
Look, Trip, they can only do Lanfear choking Egwene right now. They don't have it overdoes their quota to give you Hatsuma with that as well.
And I'm sorry, Lan in an open bathrobe battling doesn't do it for me.
I know that.
That doesn't
I get it.
cut it for me. Although Matt's admirer, the guy that quote unquote is cast as Matt's admirer, probably in Tanchico. Okay, he could parade around shirtless. I'd be perfectly happy with that.
I've never seen this. John, get this image up.
Okay.
It's in Red Hand.
Yeah, but I don't want to go searching in there. I'm gonna make Dunn do the work. Besides, you get to see a fresh reaction of me.
Yeah, but you might not get the right actual picture to understand.
Okay,
let me
who
see.
uploaded it?
In
The Hills of Tenchico is unironically playing in my head. I'll give the show this. They finally managed to make a good song. This is the only song I've managed to like in the whole show.
Let me see.
Found it.
Let's see if it's the right one.
Do you know who uploaded
Okay,
this
that's the guy, but there is a much different picture of him.
If you can tell me. There we go.
Now, do you understand why I'm like, okay, he needs to be a recurring character.
You need to spell. You would put it away too quickly. Who posted it?
Madwin.
I think Stablebo, didn't he?
Madwin the Mad Lad.
Madwin has image. Let me say, I must.
I'm like, you know what? They could make Matt gay in Tanchico if that means, I get recurring scenes of that gentleman. No, my actual comment was, now I could picture him as Perrin.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I would want him as Perrin. Maybe I need to see him with a bigger beard. But his arms are definitely yummy.
I could picture him as Perrin.
I can. My head is probably the size of that bicep.
I don't know. He looks like he's got a blacksmith's build.
He has a blacksmith's build, specifically the face I'm commenting on.
Oh, I don't know. I think he looks like he's capable of a, silent, thoughtful, smoldering type.
This is true. I am not a person you should ever ask for casting choices. I'm not good for it. But yes, he is quite the eye candy.
But I don't know if they do get a season 4. Maybe they come back over the spine of the world and then start hearing rumors about Missima. But How is that even? We don't even really seem to be getting. I mean, they're speed running everything. So why haven't we heard rumors in other parts of Randland that, about the dragon?
Because reasons.
Don't worry, we'll eventually hear rumors of the first masculine man to appear in not Randland. And they'll find Massima through that way.
Probably. All right. Well, I think we'll call it good for today. I gotta get going. But I think the only thing that I can say is this.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.